more heroes, it's hero begin to catch on nobody but yourselves, nothing less to do. No more heroes, no time just to sleep if you're gonna be number one.
Travis, it's kill or be killed.
Hey, what's up everybody? OJ here. Welcome back to another OJ stream. Today we got a great show for you guys, man. Thank you to the man, the myth, the legend for the $1.38 donation, showing some big love on the channel. Well, some good love on the channel. Some good love. Not too big, but some good love on the channel with the $1.38. And he says, well, I guess you can play whatever you want. Well, I'm doing that, so I guess we'll continue to do that. So the man, the myth, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend. I'm just gonna call you Legend. Legend is the Hokage of the stream so far with the $1.38 and also the top streamer. Thank you so much, Legend. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Legend. And also, Chris Gamer ST. Thank you for the tune in tier pledge. Welcome to the Elite Ninja fan. Thank you so much for becoming a tune in tier Elite Ninja. I appreciate that, bro. Perk package on the main page. Refresh the stream. You should see all your perks there, my boy. Thank you so much for the support. We got Splatoon 2 tomorrow, so that should be a lot of fun. That should be a ton of fun. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the early support. Yesterday was a bit crazy. Sorry for starting up late today, guys. I'll be honest, man. I was a bit wired yesterday, talking to people and discussing different stuff and making dude, I made tons of videos. I was just like all over the place, man. It was so fun. It was so much fun, so much fun. Decepticon, thank you for the host. Appreciate that. So hopefully you guys are having a great day. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. I played the Project Triangle strategy demo till like 3 a.m. I was just going through, replaying it, looking at everything, analyzing. I watched the Splatoon 3 trailer like 70 times. I got a video coming on that tomorrow. So that should be fun. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna record that video tonight. So, man, there's just like a lot of stuff to go over. A lot of stuff to go over. A lot of stuff to discuss. A lot of stuff just to have fun with. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about this year for Nintendo. But today we're gonna talk about you guys' thoughts for the Direct. We're gonna discuss the Skyward Sword price, the new pricing controversy now. The new pricing controversy now. The new overpriced controversy. It seems like this happens all the time, regardless of whatever price something comes out at. Super Mario 3D World 3 games for $60 overpriced. Skyward Sword 1 game for $60. Oh my gosh, that's overpriced. Like Mario Galaxy was about $20, but wasn't that overpriced too? So. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's great. So it's a fantastic day today, guys. I'm having fun talking to people about it. People get real mad too. People get really upset. Like when you don't sit there and feed into whatever they think they kind of get upset, which is great to see. Shinru with the $10. It says California looking good right now. OJ had some more icy rain today. Also just got 3D World. Yeah, I saw your post on Twitter. Did you get the posters? No, I didn't get from GameStop. I don't like shopping from GameStop. Got some today, and they look great. Play something, fire my guy. All right, I got you, dude. Let's play some, what was it? Persona for Arena Margaret theme. This is a really good theme. So yeah, man, I've been having a lot of fun. Thank you for the $10, Shinru. That does make you the Hokage of the stream. Once again, Shinru claiming at the top spot. My boy's always showing mad love. Thank you, Shinru, for the $10. You guys give some love to Shinru in the chat. Get your name up here on the board. So we're going to talk about everything. We're just going to chill. We're kind of just big chilling today, guys. I was thinking about playing a game, but to be honest, guys, I need to get my Splatoon 3 video done, and then I need to go to sleep. Like, afterwards, I'm done with my Splatoon. I'm going to go to sleep super early so I can wake up tomorrow morning and we can play Splatoon and we can, you know, do everything we need to do tomorrow. So, no games for tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be back with games. All right, so let's see here. All right, Ninja News. More Ninja News. I have a video up this morning giving my show grade. So if you guys want to see what I think about it, you can go and watch the video and then come back. I don't really care. But the video is up for you guys to go check out. Where I talk about the Nintendo Direct, my show grade, plus my favorite games from the Direct. Also, my reaction to Pyra and Mythra joining Super Smash Brothers. That's also up on the channel as well, so you guys can check that out. I'll have my Splatoon 3 video up probably this weekend as well, for like my reaction to Splatoon 3 and all of that. So, and then I'll have the full reaction as well. I don't even know how much Miitomo is. I don't really care either. If it's $60, sure, it's overpriced. Why not? I guess I have a little bit of a different. I have a different opinion on pricing for games. I guess my opinion is a little bit different than other people's. Other people like to get rage and get mad about pricing and say, and like to revolt, where I'm just kind of like, well, don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of been my philosophy. And that was even my philosophy with $70 games. Like, I was like, yo, $70 games, that's a lot. But like, I made a video breaking down $70 games for Sony and why they're charging $70 and my opinion on their pricing structure. And it wasn't ever like, I'm going to be angry and I'm going to tweet all day and be angry at Sony. It was like, okay, well, I just won't buy the game. You know, that's just kind of how, you know, I saw it. But that's a level-headed response. Obviously, some people, you know, they want their cake, you know, they want the cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? Like that expression, like they want this and that or whatever. But then they also want it to be a price that they want to, like, that they're willing to pay for it, which is fine. That's a completely fine thought process to have. But to me, it's like, if you're so angry over something being a price, just don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why it's got to be like a big thing where you're angry about it. Just like, don't buy it. And if it's an old game that you can already play and it's not worth buying again, then just don't buy it. Then the Wii version of Skyward Sword is going nowhere. Like, I don't understand why it's like people are super angry about it. Just play the Wii game. If this game's not worth, or if a game's not worth $70, or if a game's not worth X or Y price, then just don't buy it. I think there's brand new games. People justify buying a brand new game for $60. There's a lot of brand new games I don't think are worth for that, because I don't think the game is worth it to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's subjective. A lot of people like to base it on whether it's new or old or whatever the case is, whereas I don't do that, because then that's when you get into games that are like $60 or $70 and they barely offer any content. And oh, well, it's new, so therefore it's okay for it to be that price. It's like, well, what if it's not worth that price? You know, so I've always taken it from what does the game offer to you? So for some people it's worth it, for other people it's not worth it. So yeah, it's $50 for me, Tomo. Yeah, I don't care. If you think it's worth it for you, then buy the game. If you don't think it's worth it, then don't buy the game. You know, that's kind of how I see it. if it's worth 50 to you, then buy it. If it's not worth 50, then don't buy it. That's how I've always seen games. I've seen that with new games too. I don't think every new game, because it's new, is worth 60. And I think that's the problem that we kind of dip into, is that people think, oh, well, it's new, so it's okay to be 60. Whereas me, I'm like, no, I base it off of the game itself. Is the game content worth 60? Because there's times when Nintendo charges certain games, maybe they're not worth 60 or whatever the case is. Whereas another game that's an older game that I like more, that's more valuable to me, I'll say, oh yeah, that's worth 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely worth 60 to me. Like, or even like certain situations, right? Like Super Mario 3D World, or Super Mario 3D All-Stars, for example, has 3 classic games on a cartridge. To me, that's worth 60. Other people said, no, that's not. They're old games. It's not worth 60. I said, no, that's worth 60 to have 3 classic Mario games on a cartridge, because if you want a physical copy of Sunshine, it's like $100 or something like that. Something crazy, right? For a physical copy of Sunshine. So to me, that's much better than that. That's much better than tracking down a physical copy of that. You know, now if it's digital, that's obviously a whole different thing. But even then, there's no digital copy of, you know, Super Mario, unless you're doing like emulator. You know, there's no real digital copy of the game for you to buy. So to me, it's always subjective. It always varies, but people like to put it in bracket. New, worth this. Old, worth this. Whereas like, I don't put it that way, because I don't buy a lot of games that are full price, brand new. Like, it's only based on what I like. You know what I'm saying? Not based off of, oh, new, so it's worth this, you know? So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Vanessa Sarah with the $5 and says, I thought the direct was good. There was something there for everyone. Haters are gonna hate, and I feel trolls were just there to rain on others' happiness. Sounds like the internet. Also love your reactions, genuine fun and happiness. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Vanessa Sarah. I like Miss Click's take on it, which I'm trying to have Miss Click on tomorrow. We're trying to put something on for us to talk about something. I think like also Fidel tomorrow. And Miss Click was like, hey, I just have to sit back and watch it and then just enjoy how games are. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas it's not like a checklist and I need this, and this is just like whatever comes out. Okay, you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know. Yo, Bevan Mario with the Detroit Delaware Smash! Let's go. Let's get that My Hero hype going. Yo, Vanessa Sarah, thank you so much. Remember, guys, we treat our queens with respect here. You guys give some love to Vanessa Sarah, showing some love to the stream with that $5 donation. Once again, queens propped up here on PlayerEssence, and thank you so much, Vanessa Sarah. I appreciate your support. And Bevan Mario, thank you for the $40. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the 40. Says this is for Pyra Mithra hype, easily one of my most favorite reveal and hype direct yesterday. Yeah, I think, you know what I think too? I think there's 2 fan bases when it comes to Nintendo. And I'm gonna get into shoutouts in just a bit, okay? There wasn't a giant reveal? Wait a minute, hold up. Is Splatoon 3 not a giant reveal? Wait a minute. Super Crow Jumper. Is Splatoon 3 not a you said I am disappointed there wasn't a giant reveal? Is Splatoon 3 not a giant reveal? Am I missing something here? Is Splatoon 3 not a giant reveal? Is a follow-up to one of the best RPGs with Project Triangle Strategy not a huge reveal? One of the highest rated and best RPGs in the modern era? I can see maybe you don't think that's a huge reveal, but wait a minute. Is Splatoon 3 not a huge reveal? Let me know in the chat, guys. Thank you so much, Bevan Mario. And he says, my favorite reveal was a hype direct yesterday. Thank you so much, Bevan Mario. You have become the top stream ninja and stream Hokage. We had to get right at it, man. We didn't even waste any time getting into the topics. I didn't even give you guys proper shout outs, man. Y'all started donating and showing love already. Let's go. They're both 2022. Doesn't count. Okay, so why did Metroid Prime 4 and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild count back when those were revealed? Why did God of War count when those were revealed? Why did Horizon Zero Dawn count when it was first revealed and it came out 3 years later? Why did Death Stranding count and it was revealed and it came out years later? So if they're both 2022, they don't count. And we literally are playing. We are playing Project Triangle Strategy right now. So how come those games don't count? Like Splatoon 3, which got gameplay, information, details, but title screens and deceptive, or a title screen counts, right? Metroid Prime 4, everyone said, oh, that was hype because Metroid Prime 4 title screen. Everyone said, oh, this is hype. It's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? That counts. They gave us no date. They gave us no demo. They gave us no gameplay information at all. But those all counted. God of War got a title screen. God of War Ragnarok got a title screen. That counted. I counted it. Okay? As, okay, yeah, that's a good announcement, right? Those all counted. But now these don't count. I don't really get Splatoon. I guess it's obvious as audience right now in the chat, but I guess it's really not, did not floor me. I think you meant floor me. You said for me. Okay. So a big reveal only has to be something that you like. So like, for example, if Nintendo or if Sony announced a brand new IP, or Nintendo announced a brand new IP that maybe you don't like, but it's a big IP, does that not count for a big reveal because you don't like it? Is that what you're saying? I understand if that's what you want to say, that's cool. But like me, I'm not the biggest on the new God of War, but I can admit that the new God of War Ragnarok is a big reveal because the game is huge. It sells a lot. So I can be objective and admit that, you know, even though God of War is not huge for me, the new God of War is not huge for me, but I can admit that it's a huge reveal, even though it's a title screen. You got nothing. Let's see. I didn't praise those. God of War 2 is at least this year. Metroid Prime 4 wasn't even close. It was just there to hype up the Switch. You didn't praise those. I'm almost positive you did. And like I said, Drake, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because many people count all of those. People count. If that's the case, then Sony should never get any credit for anything because they always announce games multiple years in advance, you know? So that a lot of the games that were announced for the PS4, they should never get credit when they're announced then. Because when they're announced, there's no release window for a lot of these games. Horizon Zero Dawn, I remember covering that game or seeing that game, I think in 2014, and it released in 2017. Spider-Man, the original the new Spider-Man game, that was announced years before it came out. All these games that come out are announced years before. So you're saying that they should never get any credit because they're not that same year. Is that what you're saying? Even though we get no window for, is that what you're saying? You're saying that we should never count anything that gets no release date for the same year. Is that what you're saying? Because if that's the case, then Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft all of their shows are bad then. All their shows are bad because there's been shows littered with stuff that never comes out the same year, like barely anything. A lot of E3s are like this as well. Also, Nintendo Directs towards the end of the year date a lot of stuff for the next year, so they shouldn't get credit for Animal Crossing. They shouldn't get credit for lots of stuff, you know, that comes out. I think that's a ridiculous way of looking at it, in my opinion. And I don't recall God of War and stuff being, I don't recall that being the same year. And you said Sony isn't doing that though. Most of the game's event is based on this year, except the exception is that's not true. Sony revealed Ratchet and Clank last year, and it didn't come out that year. It's coming out this year. So that's not true. They revealed stuff that's going to be the next year, not the same year. That's not true. And they're going to have other reveals that aren't the same year. They're going to continue to do that. Like all companies are. If you think that's going to be the case, that they're always going to only reveal stuff where it's the same year, I got a big, big surprise. So, but hey, whatever. Hogwarts Legacy got delayed too. Well, that was a delay, so that's a little bit different. Nightshade, what's good? Party Man, what is good? Bevan Mario, what is good? What about Final Fantasy VII Remake? Announced 2015, came out 2020. Yeah, everybody gave Final Fantasy VII Remake plenty of credit for them announcing it. Oh, finally, they've announced it. Yes, it's happening. And it comes out 5 years later. So I guess we shouldn't have given them any credit for them announcing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess we shouldn't have given them any credit, which was the funny thing before, is that people said that Nintendo doesn't do enough announcements for future games. Now they do an announcement for a game that's coming out next year with gameplay, with footage, with information. One of them even had a freaking demo. You can even play it and it still doesn't count. So I don't understand how a 2022 game wouldn't count when you can play it right now and you can give them feedback so the game gets better when it's released. Don't get me wrong, it would have been dope if they would have released it this year, but we can literally go play the game right now. And I think that's ridiculous. I think that's nonsense. I think that's nonsense. If Sony said, or if Microsoft or Nintendo said, hey, you can play this game right now as a demo and we're gonna use your feedback to make it better, and then it comes out the following year, everyone would be like, okay, that's hype. Like, let's say, I don't know, what's a game? Let's say Infamous. Let's say there's like, Sony announced Infamous, right? And they said, hey, it's coming out 2022, but we got a demo for you guys right now that you can go play, and we'll make the game better based off of that. You're trying to tell me that it shouldn't get credit? Sony shouldn't get credit for that? That's not a good announcement? That's bullshit. That's completely BS. Everyone would be like, "Oh snap, we can go play Infamous right now, and then they're gonna make the game better. Then we can play it next year." That's complete garbage. I've been covering games for a long time and nobody operates on that. All of a sudden now people want to operate on it in order to justify them just not liking certain games. Oh, well, I'm not going to give it credit because I don't really like Splatoon, so it doesn't really count because it's next year. I don't really like this or that. Let's be consistent here. Let's just be all I'm asking for is consistency. That's all I'm asking for. If something is okay for one thing, then it should be okay across the board. You know, because people went nuts, and this is Nintendo fans as well. This is Nintendo fans as well. If you're excited for a title screen, or if you're excited for Breath of the Wild, or whatever the case is with no information, don't sit here and tell me, oh, 2022, oh, well, it's not coming out this year, so it's not okay, when people were hyping up a freaking title screen with no information whatsoever. You know, like, I'm good, you know, like, you give credit in one situation, but then not credit in another situation. I find that ridiculous. KBA Films, be consistent. That's hypocritical to me. Let's say I haven't even played Splatoon, and I thought Splatoon 3 was big reveal. Well, definitely might cop, but yeah, I thought the direct was good overall. Yeah, thank you for the 5 KBA, and that's fine. Like, I put up a poll. If you guys didn't like it, that's fine. I'm here to get you guys' opinions. What I don't like is the fallacious, you know what I'm saying, thought processes, or the double standards of, oh, well, it's something that I like, so therefore it's okay for there to be no information. But I don't like this type of game, so it's not a big reveal, and it's coming out next year, so it doesn't count. But when I was hyped about a certain game, this counted for me liking the direct, right? And people do that. And the denial from some people here in the chat is ridiculous. Everybody does that. If it's something that they like, and you can get no information on it, like literally nothing, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's great reveal. But if it's something that you're not as big a fan of, oh, let's make excuses. Oh, well, it's next year, that doesn't count. It's like, no, like that's ridiculous, you know? That's ridiculous. I think it's exhausting. I think it's just weird, and people get mad when I call that out, but it's the truth, you know? Hey, what's up, Dawson? How you doing today? Jessica, what's good? Welcome. Yo, thank you. Janich, thank you for the follow. What's up, Ranavir? Welcome. Colocos, if people didn't even know the direct existed a couple days before it was showed, it's still you have people whining, complaining. And like I said, I don't have a problem. People think that I have a problem with people complaining. I actually don't. People complain. I just said people complain about everything, so it's fine. People can complain about whatever. What I don't like is the reasoning for it. Like, that's fine if you're not happy, you're not happy, but I don't like the double standards. Like, that's okay to call that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, the double standards are ridiculous because not a single person was upset with Metroid Prime 4 reveal, okay? And that was just the title screen. Nobody was upset with God of War being a title screen. Nobody was upset with Breath of the Wild having no information on anything, like literally zero information on when we're gonna get this game. And we're still waiting for the game. You know, it's been 2 years since the reveal, right? So nobody's upset with that. That was all good announcements. But now I'm hearing multiple times, oh, well, 2022, that doesn't count. It's like, what? Wait a minute. Why? Why does it not count? Breath of the Wild counted. Nobody said, oh, no. The Nintendo's E3 in 2019 wasn't, Breath of the Wild 2 doesn't count. Nobody said that. And now that narrative wants to be pushed that it doesn't count now because it's next year. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. No, I'm not gonna sit here. Let's not say who said that. Who said Nintendo doesn't get credit for announcing Breath of the Wild or Metroid Prime 4 because it's coming out whenever? Who said that? Did anybody say that around here? I want to know who. That's ridiculous. Everybody on the website said, oh my gosh, huge announcement, Metroid Prime 4. Ah, ah. Everybody was hyped for it. Everyone said dope, but now all of a sudden, oh, it's next year. It's next year. It's like, come on, bro. That's ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That did not happen. I'm sorry. I covered Nintendo all those years, and that did not happen. Everyone's like, oh, okay, cool. Breath of the Wild 2. Let's go, baby. I think, what was it? Trials of Mana? Dude, I was hyped for Trials of Mana. They announced it, and it released the next year. When Trials of Mana was announced at E3, it didn't come out till the following year, till 2020. It didn't come out till 2020. That is, oh, I guess Trials of Mana is not hype, guys. Guess we shouldn't get hyped for Trials of Mana. It's next year. The only way that I don't get like super hyped about stuff is if there's no information. Like if they give us a freaking demo and they give us information on the game and say it's coming next year, then okay, it's okay to be up, say count it and give it its credit. People get hyped for title screens around here, guys. Let's see. I don't like how people can't comprehend the reasoning behind the title triangle strategy. 3 conviction system tactics strategy gameplay is why it's titled that. Yeah, I think that the name is just obtuse. VC, and I think that's the reason why. But yeah, it's because there's the 3 separate houses, the 3 separate moralities. You know what I'm saying? Like the strategy of the tactics. Yeah, 3 convictions. It makes sense that it's called, and it's a strategy RPG, and you're gonna have to. So it makes complete sense, the name. But people just don't like it. But at the same time, it's also new. So I think maybe if they keep that name, people will understand it more once the developers talk about it, because the developers remember, you have to say things very plainly for people to understand, especially in a presentation with a lot of information where you're getting sensory overload, right? So it's understandable that people don't like the name, or because they don't, it's a triangle. What? You just think it's geometry class? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you know, why are you calling it triangle? You know, so they just think it's that. But yeah, when you start digging into it a little bit deeper, you see why. Just like Octopath, you know, 8 travelers, guys, that people that are just traveling, you know, having their own stories. 8 separate travelers in their own stories, you know, doing things, right? So I mean, it'll make sense, and that's why I don't think they're gonna drop the name. That's why I said they're not gonna. I said that, I think, on John's Twitter account. I said, yeah, they're not gonna drop the name. They're just gonna drop project, I think, and it's just gonna be called Triangle Strategy. I think that's what it's just going to be called. I mean, I might be surprised. I mean, if they don't, then whatever, you know. That's so fraudulent when people don't give a game a credit because it doesn't come out that year. Yeah, it's very fraudulent. It's very fraudulent. There's not a single person in here that hasn't been hyped for a game that didn't have the same year as a release date. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. There's nobody here that's been like, oh, it's not coming out this year, doesn't count, not excited, doesn't count. No, that's not true. That's just, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe it. There's not a single person. It only happens, like I said, it's selective. When it's not something that you're interested in, then it's, oh, well, it's not this year. Let me try to give a way to make my own excuse for why something's not good or whatever. But no, there's not a single person here. There's not a single person here that's been like, oh, it's not this year. Doesn't count. No. Everyone's done that with certain games that they like. Because games often, you know, so yeah. Speaking of triangles, play the Battle 12 theme of Triangle Strategy. Oh, is it already up? All hail the Triangles 2021. Yeah, I like the fact that we got a demo. You know, that's the cool thing about that. It's like, yo, we got a demo. We played it before. Lots of games that were announced, you know, years beforehand. I think that's pretty cool. You know, I didn't know the music was already up. Dang, thanks VC for the $1. I appreciate that, bro. Shout outs to VC. I followed you back on Twitter. People did not like Octopath Traveler for the day, but I grew on people. I think the same will too. Yeah, exactly. They said the same thing about Octopath Traveler. People complained about the name, you know. I literally had my friends yesterday tell me there wasn't much in the direct when it comes to Sony games. They're like so hyped, makes me annoyed. I mean, I think that both what Sony offers, and I think there's plenty of games for people to get on both sides, you know. Not everybody's gonna like everything, guys. This happens with every single direct. Every single direct is people upset about some stuff. I think at the end of the day, if you go, the base factor of looking to see whether people like it or not is usually go on the Nintendo's actual page and look at the like to dislike ratio. That's one way to just see if what the pulse is. And most people thought the direct was good. Most people hit the like button, thought it was pretty good. They made jokes and like, oh, they make jokes about not seeing Bayonetta and stuff like that. But overall, I think people thought they were happy to see the format back and happy to just get announcements of new games in the future, new games for this year, dates like on, you know, No More Heroes, Mario Golf, stuff like that, getting new announcements for third-party games. I think people were just happy about that, you know, more so than anything. A lot of times we get into like the vocal minority of people that really are just really not happy, you know, about anything. And they're going to let people know on Twitter. You know, they're going to let people know on Twitter. They're going to let people know on social media. You know, but at the end of the day, I think most people just like, oh, okay, cool. It was a cool presentation. Got some games. Maybe I'm not interested in everything, but cool. They're starting them back up. We got one early February. Let's go. You know, like we're going to have more throughout the year. That's what I think most people are thinking, like the normal people. Not everyone else that gets hypercritical about stuff and super analytical and wants to sit there and say this and that and, you know, make up excuses for certain things or say this is this and all that. Yeah, they're the ones that are going to sit there and talk all day on Twitter and stuff, you know? Whereas most people, I think, are just like, oh, this was kind of cool. You know, we got some games, got some announcements, you know? There's whatever, you know? Like, that's that. Go about my life, play my games, do whatever. I mean, it could be worse. It could be like Xbox, right? I mean, like, what's the exclusive games for Xbox, you know, from now until, I mean, you know, we're getting, you know, Switch fans, we're getting Bravely Default, we're getting No More Heroes, we're getting Mario Golf. Oh, shout out to Nintendo. Speaking of Bravely, yo, the timing! I think my Nintendo rep is watching me. Are you watching me? Are you watching me? Oh my gosh, they just hit me up for the review code for Bravely Default too. let me answer back real quick so I don't get in trouble. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't get in trouble. They're cool with it. This music's banging too, by the way. Let's see here. So anyone who's upset over the direct needs to really step back and analyze their life. I mean, I see what you're saying, Coloco, for sure. I see what you're saying. I think Chupacabra says, I think the name works, but I do think Triangle Tactics works better with the alliteration. It's minor though, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, Triangle Tactics, maybe that's the final name. Triangle Tactics could be the final name. Maybe they change it from Triangle Strategy to Triangle Tactics. Yeah, I like that name too. I like Triangle Tactics a little bit more. TT, you know, instead of T. I mean, TS sounds good. TT sounds good. But yeah, both. I think both is good. That's a good point though. I think that could be the final name too. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, being a fanboy of Nintendo. Just they said there was no games for the Switch. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Devin. I see what you're saying, my boy. I see what you're saying. Thank you for the 42. I appreciate your support. Ice Sonic says, I'm excited for Splatoon 3, even though I never played Splatoon games. Should I get Splatoon 2? Absolutely, Ice Sonic. Splatoon 2 is great. If you're into like third-person competitive shooters, yeah. Yeah, a minimum donation of $1 for a song. Juan Herrera. Zoob says, do you think Mario Golf will be more ambitious than Mario Tennis on Switch? I think so because it has an RPG mode, yeah. Switch needs more pillar games that aren't ports from older systems. I understand Wii's situation, but we're 4 years now. Well, how many? I mean, who has more pillar games than Nintendo? When it comes to, even if you look at PS4 or Xbox, who has more big pillar games with their current systems? You can go PS4 or you go with. I mean, look at the lineup that Nintendo's done. Even that are not ports, right? Even stuff that they work with third-party developers. So let's go through 2017. You have Super Mario Odyssey. You have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know what I'm saying? You have Mario plus Rabbids. You know, you have just a ton of games. I mean, heck, you can even count in, it's offshoot, but like Fire Emblem Warriors. You can even count in like a bunch of stuff that they've done that's new. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Let's look at stuff like Octopath Traveler. It's also, I mean, there's a ton of games. There's like a bunch of stuff. Even like remakes like Link's Awakening or stuff like Astral Chain or other partner games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I mean, like, I'm not sure what else, how fast you want them to make games. You're saying more pillar games. You said it's been 4 years now, but who actually makes more games? Even new games. Let's just cut out the ports. Who makes more new games on their platform exclusives than Nintendo and brokers more exclusive deals like a Bravely Default or like a No More Heroes or stuff like that? So is there any other system that does more? I see what you're saying for sure, my boy, but who does more? Sony doesn't have more new first party games than Nintendo this gen, or even with the PS4, it doesn't. No, no, not really. If you want to talk about exclusives, and also with Nintendo's first party stuff like Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing. I mean, the list goes on and on. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like, the list just keeps going over the course of this. I mean, I'm not sure who's putting out more, but if there is, let me know. Let me know. You're saying that they need to have more. Who's putting out more? How much faster can they go? Even with new games, like I said, even with brand new games. I mean, you got Mario Tennis. I mean, you've got Mario Golf coming out. You know, you've got a lot of titles. Maybe it's just not all stuff that you like personally, but you said that they need more pillar games, but what else do you want them to do? Games take years to make. You got Splatoon 2, you've got ARMS. I mean, there's just a ton of games. Sony has several genres locked down, though. You said more games. You said several genres locked down, though. We're not talking about genres. You just moved the goalpost. So you said they have more games. Tell me all those games if they have more. I mean, Nintendo has several genres, too. I mean, Luigi's Mansion, what the hell is that game? Animal Crossing, what the hell is that? Mario Kart, that's a freaking kart racing game. I mean, they've got action games, adventure games. They've got a shooter. They've got a third-person shooter with Splatoon. They've got all sorts of stuff. They both have all sorts of genres. Drake? Like, it's not about one more than the other. I mean, you're the one who said Sony does more. I said, okay, well, tell me. Oh, well, they have more genres. Okay, well, what genres are they doing that? The only genre that Nintendo doesn't do is like first-person shooter. Outside of that, they do pretty much everything else. They do every other type of genre and sports. They don't do first-person shooter in sports. That's it. They have platforming. You know, they have all sorts of stuff. Sony and Nintendo both have a lot of genres. I don't see what the issue is here. You know. Fighting or ARMS. Yeah, ARMS. Well, that's a fighting game. Yeah, so they have a fighting game. Well, Nintendo has 2 fighting games. And if you want to count, I mean, really, they have like Kirby Fighters. That's like 3 fighting games. They have a number of fighting games. You know, different types of fighting games. But I don't know how much faster you want Nintendo to make big games. You know, like I don't know how much faster they can make them or what they can do. I mean, so, but hey, I mean, like I waited all gen for. I remember covering Sony at E3. I saw Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, and like Death Stranding for like 10 E3s in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everyone's happy with that, right? I saw God of War what was it? The Last of Us Part 2. That was announced in 2016. Came out in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's excited for The Last of Us Part 2. Came out 4 years later. Okay? The Last of Us Part 1 came out in 2013. The Last of Us Part 2 came out in 2017 or 2020. There's a 7-year gap. Like these games, you can't just make them. Like the days of Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 all on the same system is going to be they're gone at this point. That's not going to happen. Pokken is a fighting game too. Yeah, Pokken. Pokken as well. Metroid Prime is a first person, and Mario Tennis and golf is sports games. Yeah, I guess I meant more like simulation sports, but yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Metroid Prime is first person. First person action adventure shooter type of game. So yeah, Geist was a first person shooter. Yeah, but they don't really do Geist anymore. He says, Toon Tyrant says, guys, stop fighting. I don't know if it's fine. We're just having a discussion here. I think it's a good discussion to have. I mean, I hear this type of, especially if you go like on, John's chat, or if you go on anybody's chat that's not Nintendo fans, like people talk about this all the time. They say there's not enough this and that. So, I mean, I want to legitimately talk about it and like who's putting out more, who's putting out more. I mean, it'd be great, but, I don't know how much faster you want them to make. They can't make you know, Mario and Zelda as that fast. You know, it takes time in between the games. Let's see. And Splatoon is a relatively new IP for Nintendo. Successful one, unlike ARMS. ARMS is successful as well. Splatoon's just extremely successful. ARMS sold over 3 million copies. I would say that's successful. So you say Nintendo doesn't do Zombie U's right there? Well, Nintendo didn't make Zombie U. And that's not even really a first-person shooter. That's like a first-person, like, survival game. It's not really a first-person shooter. I mean, you can shoot in first-person, but it's not like a Call of Duty first-person shooter. But Nintendo didn't make Zombie U. Ubisoft made Zombie U. They also have RPGs as well. Oh, of course. Yeah, RPGs as well. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nintendo has strategy RPGs, turn-based RPGs, and action RPGs. They kind of have, they have all three. You know what I'm saying? All three different types of RPGs. They even have really, really weird, stupid stuff like Sushi Striker, whatever the hell that game is. Whatever the heck that game is, you know. Nintendo has a lot of different stuff. Sony does too. You know, Sony does too. They both have a lot of stuff, you know. Xenoblade 2, Smash, Pokemon, all pretty big. Yeah, those are all big. KJP, absolutely. Pico, yo, what's up, Pico? And he says, I've got a backlog a mile long. I'm willing to wait. Yeah, a lot of people do, man. What do you think about Pyra Mithra milkers? I think that they're not real. I think that they're fake. They're just big fake boobs. As in fake, as in the Pyra Mithra aren't real, so they're not, you know, just big boobs. Oh well. I mean, I've been with multiple women with boobs literally that size, or like in the past I've had women with boobs that big, so it's not like a big deal to me, you know. Whereas some people, obviously, most of you guys are never gonna even fathom seeing boobs that big in real life, which is fine. Nothing wrong with having, you know, my wife, she's not super large chested, so it's not a big deal. But I just don't consider big boobs like, oh, I get all excited about it. I mean, I've seen them before in real life. Big boobs. Woo, great. Fake. They're not real. Game's not real. So I don't know what to say. Let's see. I don't understand how peeps say this when we have exclusive games every month. This month till August. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just relax. I am relaxed. I'm just giving you guys the truth. That's the honest truth. It's just boobs. It's not a big deal. They're fake. They're not. Pyra Mithra aren't real. As much as people want them to be, they're not real. I did date a girl in high school that looked like Pyra though. She had red hair too. Built like her. Like no butt and like large chest. Really skinny waist. Taller for a girl. She was like 5'7", 5'8". I almost forgot they have horror games like Fatal Frame and Eternal Darkness. Well, I mean, once again, like they do, but then Nintendo doesn't really make those anymore. But yeah, they do have them in their backlog. Sony's making Sony is making exercising games like Nintendo Coffering Fit. Slayer. Yeah, Nintendo has the exercising genre on lock. So yeah. Somebody type in exclamation mark Smash for my man Juan. Dude, can you talk about the boob Smash fans? They'll bleed out from their nose. Yeah, they'll definitely pull the sexy jutsu. Naruto sexy jutsu nosebleed. Heather says, I think Skyward Sword is overpriced. The Wii version's right there for you. So if you think it's overpriced, we can talk about that too. If you think it's overpriced, don't buy it. You know, that's kind of how, that's like my thought process is. Like for me, I'll be honest, guys. I have Skyward Sword, okay? That game is horrible to play on the Wii. Like, I really don't like Skyward Sword's controls. I mean, Nintendo will probably give me a review code, but honestly, I'd pay $60 for the game. I'll probably still buy, I mean, I bought the Joy-Cons for $79, so I'm probably gonna, I'll try out the motion controls again, because they say that they enhance the motion controls, but the game on my HD TV looked absolutely horrible, even with Wii component cables. It looked horrible on my TV. Like, it looked so bad on my HD TV. And then the controls with the Wii remote, it just didn't feel right to me. So they're saying that they're gonna have a new version of this game with fixed controls, with better enhanced motion controls, and then also with, I can play it portably and I can play it with a pro controller, that to me is worth the extra price. I mean, but if it's not, there's always the Wii version. There's some people that love the motion controls and they're okay with the graphics of the game. So the Wii version, they can just stick with that. But for me, the HD and being able to play it to where it doesn't look like just like a sharp mess on my TV, and also the controls of the game, being able to play it with button controls, to me that's worth the 60, because I really didn't enjoy my playthrough of Skyward Sword. I didn't like the game. I beat it and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I had a little bit of fun at times, but it just got tiring doing motion controls all day. Like it zaps, like going like this, you know what I'm saying? And like trying to, like, it just zapped the fun. At first it was cool, but then it just zapped the fun out for me, you know? So I'll pay 60, not have to experience that game without motion controls. I'll pay 60 for it, you know? But that's just me. I know a lot of people obviously don't think the same, you know? So that's just my thought process. So do you think 60 is an appropriate price for the game? For me personally, I'll pay 60 for it, because my own experience is that I'll pay 60 for it. So it's not universal, it's subjective. Not everybody's gonna think that. I don't rate games based off of, oh, it's new, it should be this, it's old, it should be this. It's based off of what I personally think, which I have a very different thought process than lots of people think. Oh, well, they're used to what a developer tells them. This game's worth 60 because it's a new game. No, I don't think that. Like, this game's worth 70 because it's a new game and it's on PS5. No, I don't think that. I'll judge it based on what I think about the game. I don't think it's based off of new on this. I think it's based off of what I like. So if there's a game that's an old school game like Chrono Trigger, for example, I'll pay $200 for a remaster or a remake of Chrono Trigger. Most people say, no, it's not worth that. They'll only pay 60, right? Like Final Fantasy VII. But me personally, I think the value of a Chrono Trigger remake would be worth, I'd be willing to pay $200 for it, you know? Whereas other people don't think that. So to me, it's based off of the game. It's not based off of new or old, therefore it's this. It's based off of what I personally think, because I don't think there's a lot of brand new games that I feel aren't worth 60. Now, if you want to get into the standard pricing and what the developers tell you, what Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo tells you, have at it. It's the same thing with Nintendo. Star Fox Zero. Oh, it's a remake, so 60, right? Or 50. No, I don't think it's worth that. I'll pay 12 for it, like I did. I think it's worth lower. Or Sushi Striker, $50, brand new game, right? No, I don't think Sushi Striker is worth $50. It's worth more like 20. That's what I bought it for, you know? So to me, it's not based off of this or that. It's based off of what I personally want, you know? Whereas other people just like to base it off new, it should be priced this. Old, it should be priced this. And I'm just not, I've never done that. Like, you know, Crash Bandicoot, I mean, now you can talk about value objectively, but you asked me about me. Now, objectively, I can talk about stuff, and that's fine. Some people see it objectively, and that's fine. Objectively, I can look at things, but the problem, though, is that everybody has differences and preferences in terms of what they like and don't like. Most people think, oh, $60 is fine for a new game. No, I don't like buying a lot of games at $60. It just depends, you know? It just depends for me. That game might not be worth it for me, you know? Ipsters with the $5 and says, hey, OJ, how's things? I enjoyed the direct last night despite getting into a silly argument with people all day. Don't catch the streams as much nowadays, but always chatting on Twitter. How is the Village going? Can you play Rock Solid from Conker's Bad Fur Day? Yeah, I can play that. Thank you for the support, Ipsters. You should definitely come up to the streams more, man. We missed you. Thank you for the support, bro. I appreciate that. So, did you play Spider-Man 3 on the Wii? The motion controls on that were not great. Nah, I didn't play it on the Wii. Nah. Give it the 5. People act like Nintendo was going to show everything when they still fiscal year in the Mario 35th Mario 3D World just released, so they don't want to steer too much for those games. Enjoy the direct. Yeah. Which is weird because like I think it's like the old "Here we go again" meme with CJ. It's like, why do people think it's like the same? Like people think that it's gonna be everything all at this, but it's not more like people think that. It's more like they didn't get what they want, so I'm gonna complain, which is fine. It's okay. It's okay to do that. People think that, you know, I don't think it's okay for people to have opinions like on Twitter, and like it's just conversation. You can agree or disagree with people. Like it's fine. You can agree or disagree. Stop calling me. You can agree or disagree with people. It's okay to not think the same thing. It's okay to respond back and to say stuff. Like it's okay, you know? Hey OG, I think Chrono Trigger needs to be released on Switch, either remaster or part of Switch Online SNES games. Okay, me too. I didn't get Mario Kart 9, so I guess I should cry and complain. You should, but you got Pyra and Mithra, so you're okay. Juan Arturo with the 50 Mexican pesos. Thank you so much, man. And he says, what do you think about Rayman possibility of being the next Smash Fighter? I love your videos, by the way. Thank you for the 50 Mexican pesos. I think Rayman's probably not going to be in. So yeah, I think he's probably not going to be in. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Fairy Tiger? Says I would pay 100 for Wind Waker easy. Yeah, so like it's subjective, right? It's based off of how you value things. But people like to look at it from a black and white standpoint in order to justify one thing or another. This was this, so therefore this needs to be this. This is that, so therefore this needs to be that, you know? So that's the only thing that I don't like, but it is what it is. Everyone's an individual. Everybody has their own opinions, you know? Everybody has their own opinions. I'm hyped for Splatoon 3, Skyward Sword, World Ends, and Triangle Strategy. Bit miffed that the Joy-Cons, though, never had a chance, bruh. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. Cat Burger, 100. Thank you for the follow. Let's see here. I think 10 to 15 million people will think Skyward Sword is worth 60 PlayerEssence. I think if the game's going to sell really well. Yeah, I think the game's going to do really well. I think the game's going to do good. I mean, we've seen this before, though, right? Super Mario 3D World, you know. Super Mario 3D World had so much controversy. Freaking so many videos and so much controversy with Super Mario 3D World's pricing. You know? And it ended up doing extremely well. And I think but it was like a combination of like the pricing and also with the limited release of the game, like time frame. So yeah. Let's see. Is it appropriately priced? Objectively speaking, is it appropriately priced? It's subjective. I mean, what do you mean by appropriately priced? I don't understand that. Like, what does that mean? Appropriately priced? Is $70 appropriately priced for new games? Like, I don't get that. It's subjective based on what people want or not. You said even if you look at it, how can you look at objectively on a game? Like, yeah, for some people it's worth that. For other people, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is objectively? It's based on what you think. If nobody ever played Skyward Sword, yeah, they would think, yeah, this is objectively worth $60 to them. You can make a case in point for both. There's not a right or wrong answer when it comes down to it. If you've never played Skyward Sword, it's a brand new game to you. You do not care. If you weren't even born when the game came out, which there are plenty of kids that weren't, then yeah, it's fine. It's a new price of a game. The game is worth that price because you're going to get 40 hours or 50 hours of content or whatever the case is. So objectively, you can look at it both ways. There's not a one or the other, which you're trying to group me into, okay? But objectively, you can argue that it is and it isn't. Objectively, you can say, no, it's not because the game's old. Well, I think that the upgrades to the game aren't worth it. Objectively, you can argue the other way and say, well, wait a minute, I've never played the game, or I hated the game with motion controls, and the game looked like trash on my TV. Objectively, yeah, this game is extremely good. It's one of the best rated games of all time. It has a 93 average or something like that. It's one of the best rated games. It's one of the best Zelda games. I love what they did. It's the origins of the Master Sword. Yeah, objectively, it's worth 60. So there is no one way or the other. You can objectively argue on both sides. There is no, just like you can objectively argue about, is $70 worth the price of the game for PlayStation 5 games? You can objectively argue, no, it's not, because the upgrade and what they're doing is no different from developing a game on PC, right? For the most part, SSDs have been around and they've been developing for those for years now at this point. Or you can say, well, wait a minute, this is a big step up in terms of the technology and what they're doing from the PlayStation 4. So yeah, objectively, it's worth the jump in $10 in price. You can argue both sides for it. You can objectively argue both. There's not like, oh, well, objectively, is it worth it? And just one answer. It depends on who you are. You can argue objectively on both sides, you know? Am I not correct here? Am I not correct here? It's not like I'm the only one who thinks this thought process, guys. If it was objectively not priced correctly, people wouldn't buy this. So for example, if Nintendo announced their new games and they were $500 a pop, yeah, most people objectively would say that it's too much, and it would show in the sales results because people wouldn't be able to afford that. Just like like a Lamborghini, right? Most people can't afford that. They can't afford that, so you're not gonna see a bunch of people buying Lamborghinis. But a Toyota Corolla or like a Camry or something like that, you can objectively argue, okay, yeah, that's something that I can buy. I can afford that. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Maybe it's not, well, you know, whatever. Maybe they're overpricing it for what it is or whatever the case is, but I can buy that. So that's kind of how I feel with like games, you know? I feel that you could objectively argue on both sides because for me, I hated the regular Skyward Sword, you know? And that factors into what I think objectively about the game when it comes to the controls. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. Like, I really don't like the controls for Skyward Sword. And I personally feel that it's going to be a new game to me with these controls. It's not just an upgrade of HD. It's literally going to be almost like a new game so I can play the game without having to do this. This is a big difference than just flicking a control stick, you know, and being able to play anywhere that I want. That's a huge difference to me. Maybe not to other people, but to me. So there is no one way or the other. You see what I'm saying? Jeffrey Tucker with the $10 says, missed your live stream yesterday. Looking forward to your hype video. Also, Skyward Sword is worth $60 to me because button use is possible, and a disabled gamer who couldn't use a Wii, it'll be fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's different for everybody. So it's people like to group it and bracket into one thing or another, and I really don't like doing that because it's subjective based on what you think. So I'll give you guys a perfect example. There are some people that will sit there and buy Call of Duty every single year. Literally, it's like the same thing. Literally like the same thing. They'll sit there and buy Call of Duty every single year, and they'll buy it full price, and they'll say, "Oh, well, it's a new game." But I look at Call of Duty. I'm like, it's the same thing. You guys are buying that for $60, now $70 or whatever the case is. But oh, new game, right? New game, quote unquote. I personally rather pay $60 to play Skyward Sword than to sit there and buy Call of Duty every single year. And there's people that dump money into that every single year and say that it's worth it for that, and that's fine for them. But it's not for me. But the general consensus is, oh, well, it's okay, it's a new game. But it's literally, it's the same engine. They just keep on doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and change the paint, you know? So it's subjective, you know? It's subjective on that. R Stalwart says, us 70s babies love regular gamepad controls. Yeah, man. R Stalwart, bruh. I mean, I don't mind having the new options and stuff. Like, I think it should always be optional. I think motion control should always be optional. No cap, the space sound messed up. But thank you for the 2. I'm starting to think that the reason why Sony gamers and Xbox gamers complain about the price of Nintendo games is because they are broke boys. I mean, Nintendo fans, I think you're joking, VC. Or you said no caps. I think you're joking overall. But I think that it's they're paying for $70 games, right? So I don't know if it's Sony boys. They're buying that. You know, they're buying those $70 games. They're buying Demon Souls and stuff like that. So I think it's because they think lesser of... Here's the thing that I think. They think lesser of Nintendo and Nintendo's games after years, because they look at it from their standpoint. It's like, okay, well, if I wait this many years, it should be worth this. And they don't think Nintendo's games are worth it day one, because I've seen guys that are more of Sony fans literally say, Nintendo games, why are Nintendo games... Like, why is Legend of Zelda and these Nintendo games $60 full price or whatever the case is years after launch? Okay, they'll argue that point. But then when someone said like, oh, well, what about $70 games on PlayStation? People said, oh, well, some Sony fans said, oh, well, yeah, I'm a big boy. I can buy $70 games. I'm a big boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not broke. It's like, wait a minute. So then why are you complaining about one or the other? You know what I'm saying? One minute you're saying one thing, the next minute you're saying something else. I mean, that's what I've seen from a lot of people online. But like I said, I think it's because they see Nintendo as a secondary thing or a tertiary thing, and it's not worth the price. Whereas I see, you know, for me, I look at it from a logistics and business standpoint. I see like, Nintendo's games don't go on, good games really don't go on sale very often. So it financially makes more sense for me to just buy the game now. You know what I'm saying? And like, because I know it's not going to be on sale. Whereas with Sony, it makes more sense to me to wait for a lot of their games if I'm not super crazy about it, because their games get discounted. So why buy the games day one? Even Sony's big first party games, why buy those day one when they're going to be discounted later? So I think about it logically. It's not that the game isn't worth $60 or whatever, because a lot of the games are content wise. They are worth that. But if I know that it's going to be cheaper in 5 or 6 months or whatever, why buy it right now? It's like, I think about it almost like a car. If you're going to go out and buy a new car, if you know that car is going to be 50% off or 35% off in 4 or 5 months, would you buy the car right now, or would you wait if you didn't have to, if it's not a necessity? You know what I'm saying? Somebody ban Toby Rivers in the chat. Thank you. Mods ban Toby Rivers in the chat. Let's see here. So that's kind of my thought process, you know? I know that it's going to be cheaper in a bit, so I'll save the money and just buy it then. Whereas if I know something's not going to go down in price, it's like I might as well just get it, right? So yeah. So Juan Arturo, thank you for the 70 Mexican pesos. Which characters do you think will be in Smash? By the way, can you put the where the wind blows, please, Rayman soundtrack? Yeah, I have a video where I think what characters are going to be in Smash. Check out my videos. Just type in !/ Smash, and you can see my videos on that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into the when the wind blows. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a fair comparison, VC, because the PlayStation 5 has nowhere near the install base as the Switch. So I don't think that's a fair comparison. There's like no way Demon's Souls is going to be able to outsell. I mean, it's Zelda. Zelda's always been a bigger franchise than Demon's Souls, you know, and Dark Souls and all that. So this is literally the basis of capitalism. Value of a good value of a good is what people are willing to pay for. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I guess maybe because I have a strong background in economics is why I think that. If Sony games never discounted, like if Sony games were like Nintendo games, which is what Sony's trying to do, if they were like that, I would probably buy Sony games more on day one than usual. But the fact that I know that they're gonna discount like later, like I didn't buy Demon's Souls day one. Like it's not really my type of game, but I didn't buy that day one. Like I didn't buy Little Big Planet, because I think that those games will discount later. So I'll just wait, you know. Whereas like, you know, Nintendo games, they usually don't discount anytime soon. So I rather just buy them now, you know. But it is what it is. Like everybody has their opinions on what they like and dislike, so it makes sense to me. Because Splatoon 3 got announced for 2022, do you think this will make the deluxe version the next gen consoles? No, I think it'd just be backwards compatible. Kind of like what they did with the, you know, with the Wii and the like the Wii U and the Wii, or like the Wii and the GameCube. Although they did make like new play control stuff for the Wii, but I don't think they're really gonna do much of that next gen. I think they're just gonna keep it rolling. What's up, Dank Meme? Let's see, Skyward Sword was also a precursor to the Breath of the Wild formula, even though I think Skyward Sword did it better. I don't know how Skyward Sword did the formula of Breath of the Wild better than the actual game that made the new formula. They took a few things, but there's no possible way that Skyward Sword did the Breath of the Wild formula better than Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild has its own formula. That makes no sense. Because Skyward Sword's not Breath of the Wild. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but there's a few things that they took from there. Obviously, Anuma-san talked about that, but I don't see how Skyward Sword did what better. Like, what did it do better than? When it comes to the Breath of the Wild formula, what did it do better? I mean, new things, right? The new formula. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, but it's all good. They probably only mean dungeons. Breath of the Wild, dungeons weren't a part of the formula for Breath of the Wild. Remember, that's not a formula for Breath of the Wild. He said that even though he thinks Skyward Sword did it better, like he said, the precursor to Breath of the Wild formula, even though I think Skyward Sword did it better. So he thinks that Skyward Sword is a better Breath of the Wild style game than Breath of the Wild. That's what that statement sounds like. It's a better formula for the Breath of the Wild style game than Breath of the Wild itself, which that doesn't make sense right now at this point. I didn't even see Destiny's picture of her dressing like Zelda. I mean, I think Skyward Sword was okay. Skyward Sword was better. Okay, yeah, I disagree with that, but hey, it's all good. I don't care about older FIFA games. College Summon. I don't care. I don't know why they're on there. I don't think because I think EA doesn't care. To answer your question, EA does not care about older FIFA games on Switch. Nobody cares. What's up, OJ? I think a lot of people just fall prey to having double standards, especially when it comes to undermining Nintendo games. If you catch my drift. Oh yeah, yeah. The double standards are definitely there. Well, I think that it's across the board though. Double standards are normal. Whataboutisms and double standards are very, very normal for people all the time. So it is what it is there. All right, so we played this one for about 4 minutes. We're gonna get back to the regular soundtrack. Octopath numbers. Bravely Default will do Octopath numbers. I think it'll be right around there. Yeah. I mean, Octopath didn't do like, oh my gosh, crazy numbers. I think it sold less than 2 million, right? Like right around there. Yeah, Bravely Default will probably hit that. That's a bigger install base. Not at this point than when Octopath was out. Assassin's Creed better than Breath of the Wild? That's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's I don't think that's right at all. Assassin's Creed is glitchy, buggy, boring, repetitive. Gosh, not intuitive. No interaction with the open world. No creativity with the gameplay. Breath of the Wild, I can name countless things that Breath of the Wild does better as an open world game than Assassin's Creed. Can't even cut a blade of grass in Assassin's Creed. Can't even, I mean, like, I can name a million objectively better things in that. The only thing that I can think Assassin's Creed does better is maybe story for some, even though I can't stand the story, and graphics, and maybe some combat elements, but I think the combat in Breath of the Wild just feels better to do combat in Breath of the Wild than any Assassin's Creed game. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, if some people think Assassin's Creed better, that's fine, but I disagree completely with that. Thank you for all the new subscribers coming through. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think Octopath sold around 2 million. But Bravely Default can do about that, or maybe a bit less. Do you think Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword is worth the same value? Personally, I think Breath of the Wild to me is definitely a better game. But like I said, it's objectively speaking, I think Breath of the Wild is definitely the better game. But other people think dungeons are better, and Breath of the Wild doesn't have the dungeons. So for them, Skyward Sword is better. So I don't know. Hamad keeps on going on about this, bro. Like, what are you trying to prove? I've already explained to you a million times. Objectively speaking, you can argue on both sides. You can hate Breath of the Wild and say that you hate the game. But for me personally, Breath of the Wild to me is a better game. To me, Skyward Sword is also worth $60 because I think it's good too. Not every game is equal, okay? If you're gonna put it in that sense, then do you really think that, I don't know, some people don't think Fire Emblem Warriors, if that was 60, is it as equal value as Fire Emblem Three Houses? You know, like, those are both, but nobody had a problem with that because it's a new. So like trying to say, is it worth, trying to compare it to, oh, but is it worth this? That's stupid. It's dumb, and it's never going to work here. You can do that online on Twitter because people don't have the brain capacity to effectively argue or to effectively discuss things, okay? But sitting there and saying, oh, well, do you think it's the same value as this? Sure it can be. Sure. You know why it can be? Because people value different things in games. Because the game and the content and what the game is in there, based on hours or gameplay or whatever, is what determines the value of a game for people and for me. So objectively, yes, it can be it's worth 60 to me. Is the game as good? No, but is it worth 60? Yes, just like I bought Fire Emblem Warriors. I bought that for more than I bought Fire. Well, no. I had a special edition, but I bought Fire Emblem Warriors for more than 60. I bought the special edition. It was worth it to me, but for other people, it's not. I don't understand why this is so hard. I don't understand why this is so hard to understand, Hamad. Like, you continuously, for like the past hour, you've been going on this, and I've already answered your question in like 3 to 4 different times. And now at this point, I'm just slightly losing my patience with you. So if you ask me another stupid question about what I've already explained, I've spent way too much time on you. I spent way too much time. I'm trying to be nice and answer your questions, but now you're just getting annoying now at this point, dude. How many more ways do you want me to explain this to you? I'm gonna ignore you at this point. Like you're not on ignore. Like if you keep going, I'm probably just gonna time you out or block you. Okay, man. Like I'm trying to be cool. And I'm trying to play it cool with you. But goodness gracious, bro. Like how many times I gotta explain this to you? How many times? I already told you. Anything can be worth value or not. If you don't think Skyward Sword HD is worth the value to you, then that's fine. Stop worrying about what I think at this point. If you don't think it is, that's fine. Don't buy it. Complain. Go buy the Wii version. Whine. Cry. Do whatever you need. Go into live streams and be upset and make up all these questions for. That's fine. I'm perfectly cool with you thinking it's not worth it. Like it's cool, dude. Like I'm perfectly fine with it, man. Like I'm good. But like, stop with your bullshit, man. Like I'm like right now. Like, stop with it, bro. Like, please. I'm asking you nicely now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even make a single mom joke. So, so yeah. Have you guys discussed downgrade for No More Heroes 3? Looks like technical issues looked ropey. We haven't discussed that yet because I still think that I don't know how old the trailer is or what technical downgrades you're talking about from what to what, because the last footage they showed of the game was very similar to this footage that they showed of the game. They just showed more of the gameplay. So I don't know what technical downgrades you're talking about. What are you comparing it to before? Because before the game never really got any. It got a trailer, but a lot of that trailer wasn't actual gameplay. And the gameplay that they did show seemed very similar to me. They just showed different environments this time. But all the environments that they showed or what they showed from what they showed previously matched up about the same. They just showed more. So what are you comparing it to? Looks the same to me. You have to speak slower so they can understand. I've answered this question multiple different times at this point. It's annoying. It's getting kind of annoying. Does No More Heroes 3 look like a really early build? The game won't release till August. Yeah, I'm waiting till the actual game comes out. Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit rough, which I talked about in my stream, but I'm not judging it all based off of that. We'll see what happens when the game actually comes out. And like when Digital Foundry gets their hands on it and all that. So. Do you think they're going to make a quality of life change to Skyward Sword that they didn't mention? I think the biggest quality of life changes right there are the button controls. So, but yeah, I think there's going to be some other quality of life changes. Maybe how Fi or Fee or whatever her name is, maybe how much she annoys you and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's going to be other stuff. Which I don't understand why people think that there isn't anything else. Nintendo never said that they explained everything. So I'm pretty sure they'll talk about it more on what they did with the game. It was just like an introduction to it, you know, in terms of what they're doing. So people are already saying that they're not doing anything else to it. Nintendo never said that that was it, you know, what they're doing to the game. So I just find that kind of interesting too. So yeah. They only play 10 hours of Breath of the Wild because of disposable weapons. Man, you should have kept playing because you get the Master Sword and that lasts a lot longer when it comes back. Says Amiibo support on the page. Yeah, there is Amiibo support. So yeah, they didn't talk about that either. So definitely. They made some changes to 3D World, like upping the walking speed and tunnels and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, so I mean, we should see. I want to see this. Hold up, hold up. Who's this? Oh, Stan. I was too happy with the Master Sword. Yeah, the True Splendor Master Sword's amazing. Dude, the release Skyward Sword with Amiibos. This is my wallet will die. Think Skyward Sword running on a Wii emulator. The Galaxy is no. I think the game is ported. I don't think the game is emulated. So no. I don't think so. I think the game is ported from the Wii. So they actually took the game and physically ported it, and it's not an emulation. I don't think it's running off an emulator. I don't think. Because the reason why I say that is because, well, no, you can do that with the emulated game too with the controls. But still, I think the game is ported. I think. But we'll see though. Don't quote me on that. You know? Are you playing Project Triangle Strategy tonight? I already played it last night, you know? I would play it. I already played it last night. I'm going to make a video on it probably tomorrow. Or no, Splatoon 2 is tomorrow. So I'll make a video on it the day after. Skyward Sword main theme. Thank you so much, Ethan, for the $1.99. I'll get that going for you. No. I haven't uploaded a single video on it yet, dude. I played it last night, just on my own, and I got a bunch of footage. I recorded a bunch of footage. I'm gonna make a video on it. Not tomorrow, but the day after. So, Saturday. I'm going to make a video on it Saturday. You'll see the Project Triangle strategy video. So, yeah. Yeah, weapon breaking is one of those things, like, I'm not in love with weapon breaking. I think it would have just been good if there was, like, a blacksmith or something to where, like, you can fortify your weapons. I think that would have just made things a lot better. Or like, let's say the weapon breaks, but then you don't lose it from your inventory, and then like it's like Fallout, right? The weapon breaks, but you don't lose it from your inventory, and then like you can go like fix it. I think that would have been nice, because like your armor doesn't break. So, Mega, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. But I see why some people love it though, like the strategy and collecting different weapons and being resourceful and all that stuff. So I get it. Can you choose 5 weapons that you don't want to break and everything else breaks? That sounds weird. You can. It's like you just says, hey, there's 5 weapons in the game that can't break. Everything else can. Sofa King. That just sounds not saying that you're dumb, but that sounds dumb. Like they just have this weird rule that 5 weapons don't break and everything else does. Why? Like, that doesn't even make sense. So like it just says, hey, pick 5 weapons that don't break in this game. Everything else breaks. Like that just sounds really weird. That just sounds really weird. TX 1998, thanks for the follow. Splatoon 2 will get a price cut and run up to 3. Probably not. Because I don't think even like Splatoon 1 on the Wii U got a price cut from Nintendo leading up to Splatoon 2. So, and that was on a failed system. I actually like the idea of legendary weapons don't break unlocked by beating hard dungeons. That's fine. Now that's one thing. Now Nindy Gamer, since you're a developer, he said you choose 5 weapons that don't break. Okay, that's what his statement was. Now you're saying legendary weapons that don't break. That's a gameplay mechanic. Now that's different. So I agree with that statement, but I don't agree with choose 5 weapons that randomly don't break. And like, how do you get the 5? Like, which weapons can you switch? Which weapons it is? Like that just doesn't make sense from a gameplay perspective. But getting new weapons that are like legendary weapons that don't break, that makes sense. That makes sense from a gameplay perspective, you know? So yeah. I store the weapons at my house I don't want to break. So the weapons at your house that don't want to break. So if you store them at your house, then when do you go out and use them? So if you store it in your house, how does it break? You don't ever go out. So if you take it out of your house, do they break? Or does it magically fix them when you go back to your house? What's going on? Yes, I already know about this whole thing, Z-Stover. It's old. Yes, I heard about it. Yes. It's not new. You can break them if you don't use them. You can't break them. It's the black guy meme. Can't break your weapons if you don't use them. Oh my gosh. You said they store weapons at the house, they don't break. Yeah, exactly. You store them at your house, they don't break. Yes, guys. Weirdos in the chat telling me about. Yes, I already know this is old. That's already been there. Said that, guys. Goodness gracious. I already know. I already know. I don't care either, but I already know. All right. I wanted to be there for the incredible legendary weapons, and just put a blacksmith in there, guys, and it fixes everything. Like, just do that instead of saying like you get certain weapons, pick 5, you go back to your house, the magic, and then Hetsu, you do some, you pick instead of all this weird stuff that you guys are suggesting, man. Like just blacksmith, fortify weapons. There, done. Some of y'all out here really want like legendary, like you guys like certain game designs, but y'all couldn't think of game designs if you hung out with Sakurai and Miyamoto for like 2 years. Y'all still come up with the dumbest game designs. Like Nindy Gamer's an actual developer though, so he has some good ideas. But some of y'all out here are like, well, if you go here, you pick 16 weapons, you drop back, you store 2 in the house, you jump up and down, spin around, collect some Deku nuts, rub it on there, fortify, Hetsu dances. Bruh, just a simple blacksmith works, bruh. Like Fallout has it, lots of games, and this is not the first time weapon breaking's been a part of a game. And how they like it's like you just have a blacksmith. That's like a very simple way, you know? Oh my gosh, man. Yo, shout outs to Bel Morte 1979 with the tune in tier pledge. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support, bruh. Thank you. Appreciate it. Says I'm most hyped about Splatoon 3. Do you think they'll bring back Salmon Run bigger and better than ever? I got a video that I'm doing on Splatoon 3 tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna go over all of my thoughts on Splatoon 3 and my analysis on the trailer. So I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get that done tonight for you guys. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna see how it works. I'm gonna try to get it done tonight. They can use the blacksmith like one in the Age of Calamity. Exactly. Or they can just not have weapon breaking like Age of Calamity. I'm just happy to have alternatives to motion controls. I think that's what a lot of people are saying online. I think that's what a lot of people are saying. Can we get the first Wii Sports HD to Switch? Probably not. All right. Any other thoughts on any of the other topics here in the chat, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Nintendo Direct thoughts. Your thoughts on Skyward Sword. Anything else? Be more than happy to answer those questions for you guys. Final thoughts. You guys are rock stars. All right, mom's dinner. All right, take it easy, Mike Hawk. Thanks for coming out to the stream. Let me go over the community poll results. So, right now on the community poll, we have a poll up. What you guys thought about the overall grade of the Nintendo Direct? A lot of you guys just thought it was good but lacked. That's the overall sentiment right now. So right now, if you look at the community polls, I'm looking at it. I put overall, what's your grade? What grade would you give the February Nintendo Direct and why? I put A, B, C, D, F. So at the lowest, at 2%, out of 2.6 thousand votes, you guys said horrible show, 2%. Next up, this is the second to lowest, tie. B, bad, I didn't enjoy the show at 7%. And then A, amazing show at 7%. So 2 7%. Where most of you guys fell in line though, was C and B. So the next up would be B, great show. 29% of you guys said great show. And then the most relative was C, good, but lacked a bit, 55%. So 80 something percent of you guys thought it was a good or great show. So most people thought, at least on my community, thought it was a good or great show. Most people thought it was a good or great show. You guys make sure you go vote. I would say it's amazing. That's why I put you guys up to vote, so you guys can look and see what's on there. Ninja Gaiden physical. I think Ninja Gaiden, it's physical. I'm not 100% sure though. Not 100% sure. Let me double check on that because I'm actually curious myself. Oh, hold up. We hit the we hit the Elite Ninja goal. Okay, I gotta bust up the Ninja headband next time. I actually meant to change that because I have to wait for the Ninja headband to come in. I didn't need to put that up. So next time, once I get my new Ninja headband in, we'll do that. Let's just put bonus. We'll have another bonus stream. We've been doing a lot of those lately. Yeah, 8 sounds good. C plus. I guess that would be a C. Just a C. Because I thought the Joy-Con release was going to be on the day the Skyward Sword drops. They didn't mention anything about pre-orders today. I don't recall them mentioning whether it was going to be on the release of the game or not. I don't remember what they said. What did they say, guys? I said B, it was good not having a direct in 17 months, but just half the year's games, wait till E3, but not really. E3, yeah. Yeah, I think it was. All things considered, I thought it was pretty good. And I gave it a B in my video. Make sure you guys watch my video. If you haven't seen my video on my review for it, make sure you watch it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty solid. It took me forever to edit that video because it was freaking long, almost 20 minutes. Did you reach the DC? Did you reach the goal to play DC Superiors? Not yet, because I need 16K. Oddly enough, I'm hyped for Famicom Detective Club localization. Hey, Jordan, there you go. Jordan, I got to get back to you on the DM you sent me about the whole logo stuff. I'll get back to you on that. I'm just kind of behind on lots of stuff. Do you think they'll release any games to mark Zelda's 35th anniversary of Skyward Sword? Of course they're going to release more games. Of course. Check out my videos that I've already put out, Atomic Samurai. Check out my videos on the 35th anniversary. Do you really think Nintendo's only going to release Skyward Sword? Think about that for a second. Do you really think that? Like, do people really... I know it's a question, but do people really think that they're not going to release more? Like, do people really think that? Is that like a oh my gosh, I'm not sure. Is that really like a thing that people don't think? I know it's the internet. And I get that, but do people really not think that they're not going to release Skyward Sword or not going to release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess? Is that like a you're confused on that? Like, I just want to know because I see a staggering amount of people that ask that question. I make videos upon video upon video on it 1,000,000 times, and people still ask, and they'll ask and ask and ask and ask over and over and over and over and over again, like as if they don't think it's going to happen. As if like we're like in December and it's like, oh, I guess it's not going to happen now. You know, it's February, you know, it's just weird. Sitting with the $5 and says, keep seeing Wario 64 post Mario Switch bundle and Monster Hunter Switch bundle. I want both. Help OJ. Please lend 400. Please lend 400. Play JK. Play Mutant City. F0 GX out. I got you. F0 GX. Here's the thing. You said Nintendo was weird and unpredictable. Okay. So here's the problem that I have with that statement when it comes to this. You say, when Nintendo releases an old game and overcharges, oh, Nintendo milking their franchises. Milking. And now when I say, oh, well, Nintendo, they've always released old games and they're going to do stuff. Oh, Nintendo's unpredictable. It's like, one minute you'll complain that they release old games and there's not enough. People will complain about that. They're releasing old games. They're re-releasing too much stuff and it's predictable and they do the same thing. And now the excuse is for me saying, well, why wouldn't they do that? Oh, they're unpredictable. It's like, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Are they milking and always release old games and you want new stuff and blah, 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 and they did that before? Or is it they're unpredictable and they're not going to do what they've been doing? Which one is it? Like, which, that's what I want to know. If you can say, oh, they're unpredictable. We don't know. But then when they do it, oh, the old games. What did you, like, which one is it? I just want to know that. Like, which one is it? Because this seems to me like it's a fairly predictable thing, you know? Based off of rumors, based off of people with sources and information saying that it's going to happen, based off of trademarks, based off of like a million different things. It's pretty clear it's going to happen. But now I have people in the chat saying, oh, well, you never know. They're unpredictable. But then, oh, they're also milking stuff. So then, which one is it? That's what I mean. For those who said that in the chat to me, which one is it? It can't be both, or can it? They're predictable, but then also unpredictable with things. It's like they re-release millions of old games all the time or whatever, you know, and they do that. And now all of a sudden, well, you never know, they're unpredictable. I don't know. This seems fairly predictable to me. But you know what? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't know. See the new Mortal Kombat trailer? Nah, I actually didn't see the new Mortal Kombat trailer. No, I didn't see it yet. It's not that you're getting roasted by me. I'm just saying, like, it's just, you say a lot of sentiments, Sofa Kingdom, online that I see that are very easily disputed. It's not that I'm roasting. It's not a roast session. It's just, I see a lot of stuff that I see that's very easily, like, disputed. Very easily, like, but what about this? It's like, we've gotten old games before. It's blah, blah, blah. It's like, this is something that just happens. They do this all the time. We got it on Wii U. We're going to get it on, we got it on the Wii. We've seen re-releases. We've got it from the freaking, all the way back to the Super Nintendo, Super Mario 3D All-Star, or Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario 25th Anniversary. You know, like, we've seen it before. Wind Waker. We've seen old games being re-released, remade, whatever. It's as old as Nintendo themselves almost. Since the Super Nintendo era and on. We've seen re-releases. Game Boy Advance, Mario 3, e-readers, all sorts of weird stuff that we've seen. Nintendo been re-releasing games literally since ground one, since day one, almost. Since they had another system to re-release stuff on, they've been re-releasing stuff. And now all of a sudden it's, oh, now they're unpredictable. I don't know. With this thing, not they're unpredictable with what they can announce. Yeah, that's unpredictable. But with re-releasing old Zelda games, they're unpredictable. The GameCube, they re-released old Zelda games. Majora's Mask, blah, blah, blah. They re-released them. Like, they've been doing it. But now all of a sudden, with this aspect, even though there's been documented multiple times with Zelda games over decades, now all of a sudden it's unpredictable. Even though that's all I'm trying to say. It's like, How is it? How? Based off of what? It says, Side says, half-baked remasters and today's hot stuff. Look at Final Fantasy VII. Half-baked remasters and remakes are today's hot stuff. Look at Final Fantasy VII. How is it half-baked? Final Fantasy VII remake. Do you make video games? Tell me how it's half-baked. Can you tell me what the process of that being half-baked? That looks to me like a very technically advanced extremely difficult type of game to make. How many games have you made? Cite the meta. How many games have you made? And you said Super Mario 3D All Stars is a terrible thing. I do understand there are so many people that never played the games, but $60 for 3 games is not even worth 40. That's terrible. Why is it not worth 40? Why is it not worth 40? What makes a game worth 60 or 40 to you? Are the games not good? Are the games not quality enough to be worth that price? It's not even a complete game. It's the third part of the game. It was released in 1997. Third of part of the game. It's nothing like the game that was released. It has a whole completely different combat system, completely different gameplay mechanics. It doesn't play anything like the game that was in Final Fantasy or in 1997. So what does that have to do with anything? If it played exactly like the game did in 1997, then you have a point. But the game plays nothing like the game did in 1997. So what does bringing 1997 have to do with anything? The game plays nothing like it. Has completely different battle mechanics, completely different content, completely different things in the game than it was in 1997. So what does 1997 have to do with anything? Logically. Could you do all the stuff that you did in Final Fantasy VII Remake in 1997? I don't think so. People come with the weirdest arguments here. People come with the weirdest arguments. These are the online arguments. These are the online statements. Let me inject my extremely subjective opinion into something and not think about it objectively at all. These games aren't worth $40, or these games aren't even worth $40. These are 3 of the best Mario games of all time. And I understand that people might have not played these games. These games are amazing. They're really good, but they're not worth it because I don't think so. Because they're old. Okay. So they're not even worth 40. Yet 3 of the best Mario games of all time. Hours and hours and hours of replay value and content. Not worth it. All right, makes sense. Half-baked. Final Fantasy VII Remake is half-baked. One of the most technically advanced games that probably has ever been made on the PS4. Half-baked. But I guess the meta, or Mata, you know more about development. You know more about value and content. You know more than everybody else. I agree. If only everyone could be as tactful as you are when it comes down to things. Thanks for your opinion. All right, so let's see here. Think we'll get some real improvements to online service anytime soon? Watch my video on the new online adjustments, Eric. I already made a video on that. OJ Loki vaporizing these fools. I mean, it's really easy to do. I mean, when people come in here and play fake developer, you know, like it's half-baked. There's nothing half-baked. Those guys busted their butt on Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you think for a second, maybe it's not up to what you like, and I get not having the full story. I get all that. But if you think that was a half-baked game, you've never developed a single game or talked to a single developer in your life. That is a one in a... There are literally no other games, from a technical perspective, from what they did with Final Fantasy VII Remake, that are like that game. It is very unique, and there's almost nothing like it. Half-baked is... They had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on that game. That was not... There's nothing half-baked about the game at all. It was just gamers talking like they know what they're talking about, but they don't. If you don't like it, or if you feel that it wasn't worth it or whatever, I get that, but it's not a half-baked game by any means. By any means. There's nothing half-baked about Final Fantasy VII Remake. You just didn't like the way that they split the game, which I don't like. I mean, it would have been dope if you can get out of Midgar. Like, I agree, like, it would have been nice, but I played the game. I played the game fully, and it's not a half-baked game. They put their time into it. I don't know how they would have remade the whole game, though. With that combat system, if they made it a turn-based RPG, they probably could have done everything. Like, if they just kept the battle system the same and the content the same and then just made better graphics, they could have probably remade the whole game. But they made the game, they made a different game. They didn't make the same game. They made essentially a new game. They took the themes and the story, some of it, and they made a whole new game, because the game doesn't even really follow the same. It follows the same set pieces, but the story, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it's not the same game. Like, Final Fantasy VII and the events of what happens have been altered, you know? So yeah. We've been through this before. We've been through this before. All the complaints about 3D All Stars, damn near, it's 10 million, and it's like 8 million if I recall correctly. Yeah. That's the case. Demon Souls, Crash, etc. are even worse. Yeah, I mean, Demon Souls. It was interesting because Demon Souls, that game is, 70 for a remake of the original game with not a lot of new content, but a lot of obviously performance improvements to the game, so, and graphics improvements. So some people feel it's worth the 70, some people feel that it's not, it's up to the person, it's up to individually. That's why I hate putting labels on things, because it's just weird. It's just weird, but that's just my thought process, man. And he says your hate for Xenoblade makes you not happy with the characters. Well, I'm glad that you're not happy. Good. Hopefully you stay unhappy. Side the matter. If you're not happy and you come here to complain, hey man, no problem. You can do that. Your opinion. But I hopefully you stay angry and upset. And I'm actually glad. I'm actually really happy that having Xenoblade characters that look amazing in the game makes you unhappy. That makes me happy. Because not only do I get to have my characters that I like, and I get to play more content from the game, but it also makes you unhappy. So that makes me happy. Your pain is my pleasure. Oh my gosh. If people want to come to streams and be upset and dunk on people about what they like and stuff, you just gotta spin it back on them. Personally, for me, I don't go to streams, and I'm a viewer too. I watch other people. If people are happy about something, and I don't go there and try to make them and like be upset. Like, people are allowed to give their opinion, but I mean, there's better ways of saying things. Like, you can say, yo, I'm not a big fan of Xenoblade, but it's cool for the people who do love it. The characters do look kind of dope, but you come here and say, I hate for Xenoblade. Come here and be angry about something. It's just corny. Like I said, I don't do it. Like, I don't love everything that the content creators that I talk about, I don't love everything that they like, but I don't go there and dunk on them, to try to feel better about something. So, but hey, it is what it is, It is what it is. So from that on, whenever somebody says I hate this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad. Hopefully it hurts you, and hopefully you stay mad and you stay angry while I'm happy. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I've been saying, and people have been getting pissed on me about on Twitter. Some people saying, well, I did it. This is a place for us to discuss this. I'm like, listen, bro. Like, if you're really that upset, go to Nintendo. Don't come to me. I'm not gonna help you, bro. Like, go be like everybody else and go complain on Nintendo's page. But I like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one who made it, but I like it. So you can complain, and that's fine. But I'm gonna be happy for your pain because I like the characters. I like what I saw. So if you're upset, that's fine. But I don't know what to tell you. What do you want me to say? Okay, fair. What do you want me to say? I don't like it. Like, I don't understand when people do this. Like, I don't get the logic, but it doesn't compute in my brain. Like, even like Death Stranding. Click loves Death Stranding. Jordan Fringe loves Death Stranding. Nate from Direct Feed Games loves Death Stranding. MVG loves Death Stranding. They all made posts talking about how much they love Death Stranding. Did you ever see me go there and say, I hate Death Stranding because it does this, and this? Now, when we were in a discussion in a podcast together all talking, I gave my opinion, but I even said, okay, if you're allowed to like it, if you like it, right? If you like it, you like it. But I liked all the posts where Click said that she liked Death Stranding and all. Like, even though I hate the game, I don't like the game at all. I dislike it, But that doesn't mean I go to people's posts and go to people's streams. Like, I watched Click play Death Stranding. Did you see me troll Click? Or not troll, but did you see me go to Click streams and say, this game sucks and my dislike for this is why I'm angry? Did you guys see me do that? No, I just sat down there, watched her play. She enjoyed it. Okay. It's good from somebody else's standpoint. Like, I get that's maybe too logical for some of you guys, and a lot of you guys are angry, or you guys have anger in your life. And that's usually what perpetrates like this type of venom that people spill online to other people, like the content creators. But to me, like, I get it. You want to get your opinion, and that's fine. But to me, it just seems kind of corny just to come somewhere just to be angry and complain about something, like all day. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. But just say, yo, it wasn't really for me. I get that. But for those who liked it, cool, Now, if you have your own Twitter or if you have your own YouTube channel, then yeah, feel free, have at it. Say that you hate this, you don't like this, blah, 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 Like, you can do that, But coming to streams and doing all that type of stuff is just, I don't know, man. Never been a fan. Mac Megan with the $2 and says, and this is coming from somebody who did that before, and I feel disgusted, It's disgusting, but I haven't done that in a long time, you know? Like, people like stuff all the time. Like, John likes Call of Duty. I don't dunk on John liking Call of Duty. I don't like Call of Duty, but I don't dunk on him liking Call of Duty or whatever the case is. He likes what he likes. There's a million things I can talk about Call of Duty, why it's corny, you know? But I don't. It's okay, he likes it. You know? He likes this, he likes that. Okay, that's cool. That's what he likes. I'm not gonna be angry or mad because he likes it and I don't. So if they announce Call of Duty for the Switch, everybody get hyped for Call of Duty on the Switch. Am I gonna go there and say, oh, my hate for Call of Duty, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, unless somebody asks me my opinion, you know what I'm saying, and all that, like, what do I truly think? Okay, I'm not gonna sit there and dunk on somebody like that. Mac Mega with the $2 and says wanted it to be 70% void today. Sorry, LOL. Thank you for the $2, Mac Mega. Appreciate that. I'm buying Hades physical, but I wish it came out physical earlier. They're probably Breath of the Wild 2 won't come out this year because Age of Calamity DLC coming throughout the year until November, based on what someone said. LOL. Yeah, that's, well, I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, but I think they're just trying to speculate, really. MS reminds me of Nate the Hate going off on anti-Nintendo in terms of 3 All-Stars. You let him have it and in the chat you weren't hurt because he was raging. Yeah, well, he went off like and that's his opinion. You know, I obviously don't share the same opinion. But if that's how someone feels about something, that's how they feel about something. That's fine, you know? My personal, I think the biggest issue that I had is that people who purchased the game and talk about how bad it was. I think that's one of the biggest things because there were definitely people that were angry and upset, but still bought the game. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If you're that angry and that upset and that anti-consumer, don't buy it, you know? And I think that's another problem that gamers have is that they'll sit there and small vocal minority, they'll complain and cry and make, not saying that Nate did that because I don't think he did, but gamers will do that, right? And they'll get upset when somebody tells them, well, don't buy it then. You ever notice how some people get triggered with that? If you tell them, don't buy it. But my friends, it's like they get a little bit upset when you tell them, well, don't buy it. Like that seems to be like they get upset about that. You guys ever done that to somebody and they get upset at you? Well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And it's like a big problem. Like when you say that, you know, it's like, well, don't buy it, you know? I got called so many names for me telling people, well, don't buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. And it's like, that's like a problem if you say that to people. Like they get mad at that, you know? But I still think it's vocal minority. I don't think it's like, I think most people are fine like with the direct, and I think most people are like okay with it. Like my poll's a very small sample size, but you know, 2,000 plus people, almost 3K people. Most people think it was good or great, you know? So I don't think there's a problem there. You know, I don't think there's a problem there. Thank you, The North. I appreciate that. Yeah, people got angry when you told them not to buy Pokemon. So they did. People got extremely angry when I told them not to. I was like, well, if you don't like it, don't buy. Well, how dare you defending your damage control? I'm like, no. Well, the best way to show people that you don't like something is to not buy it. I'll buy whatever I want. Okay, so then you're gonna buy Pokemon. Well, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, but I'm gonna be angry and let him know. I'm like, so how do they? I'm like, oh, okay. So you're basically hypocrisy, right? So it's anti-consumer and it's bad for overall for you, but you still buy it. That just sounds very weird. You have no self-control. Or I'd say that you're a moron. It's like one of the two. Like either you're joking, you have very bad self-control, or you're a moron. If you say something is anti-consumer and it's bad and it's the worst thing in the world and it's horrible for gamers and it's horrible for you and you're so upset about it and then you go out there and buy it, you might be a moron. Like, I'm just saying. That's just my thought process. You just might be a moron. Now, I'm not talking about people who buy stuff for work, right? Content creators, completely different thing because you can buy something, you can fake rage about it, and you can make your money back and then some. That's a business decision, right? So this does not apply to content creators because content creators will buy stuff and get stuff all the time that they don't like in order to make money off of it. And that's completely fine because it's a business at the end of the day for a lot of people, right? So I'm not including them. I'm talking about a lot of gamers that are sitting there and agreeing and saying, oh yeah, well, anti-consumer, and then they go out there and buy it. Oh, well, I bought it anyway. It's like, okay, well then, like I said, you might be a moron. You know? Might be a moron. Or it's fake. Or it's fake. You know? My rep is reaching out to me again. Sorry, guys. Got to get back to them. Got to get back to them, you know. Trying to get this content for you guys. Trying to get this content for you guys. A lot of games skip Nintendo platforms. I might just pick up PC if I want to, but most of the time I just say it would be nice and take my custom elsewhere. That's plenty. Yeah. All right, so we're doing Q&A, guys. If you guys have questions, I've got answers, so you can tag me at PlayerEssence, hashtag PlayerEssence, just PlayerEssence by itself. We're gonna go over the Japanese sales real quick too. So we're gonna go over those Japanese sales as well. Mr. Studmuffin with the $3 says, as a lewd artist, I'm having a field day with Pyra and Mithra Smash reveal. Oh, and I reached out to Dreamcast guy and I agreed on drawing him with that lady Dimitri, whatever her name is. Also, you were snubbed for Black Content Creator of the Year. Maybe next time. Thanks, Mr. Studmuffin. I appreciate that. I appreciate the $3, bro. Have fun with those pictures, man. Have fun with those pictures. Thank you for the 3. Let's go over these Japanese sales real quick, though. Once again, nobody covering the Japanese sales. Nobody covering the Japanese sales from Nintendo, of course. Only 38 comments. DJ King, how you feeling at Gamatsu, son? How you feeling, son? How you feeling at Gamatsu these days? Didn't you get banned? Why would I receive any copyright claims from yesterday? No, I did not receive any copyright claims from yesterday, Choi Perry. None. And even if I did, I'd just scrub it. I'm glad I didn't receive any copyright claims, though. That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Right. Or did I? Hold up. I did. Never mind. Hold up. I didn't check. I thought I didn't, but I did. Let me see what I have. Probably some music. Yeah, that stupid EA. Guess who? EA. Guess who? Of course. Let me just mute the song real quick. And that had over 25K views. I'd be damned if I give this fake music company yes, no, maybe. It's the music that got it. So it's only for like 20 seconds though. Fraudulent. Of course it was an EA track, but I can just mute it real quick. I just did that, and it'll be off. It'll be off my page. Garbage ass company. Says they're frauds. Yeah. Oh, Gamatsu still got banned. PlayerEssence still banned. All right, so let's go over these sales, bruh. Yes. So Super Mario 3D World, top selling game, 250,000 copies sold, not including digital. These sales are for the past week. Famitsu sales February 8th, 2021 through February 14th, 2021. So Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. If you guys are wondering what it sold on the Wii U, it sold about 99,000 copies. So more than 2 times more on the Switch. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. That's pretty good. Pretty good for a 3D Mario game. Also, Switch family of sales on the hardware side. Switch sold 109,000 units. 109,000 units. So keep on getting multiple emails from my rep. Sorry. When Nintendo emails me, I gotta get right back to them, guys. All right. Over 100K for another month? Insane. No, week, my boy. You don't follow the sales much, do you? 100K for the week. Now, if you're talking like, I don't know, like Sony, like the PS4 or something like, or the PS5, yeah, maybe like 100K for the month for the PS5. But, or for if it's like Xbox, maybe like 100K for like the generation. But we're talking about Nintendo here with the Switch, and that's 100K play for the week. So 109,615 units for the past week. PS5 sold 22,890 units. PS4 sold 4,407 units. Xbox Series sold 136 units. It's dead. It's completely dead there. If I was Microsoft, I wouldn't spend a cent in Japan. Here's the breakdown of Switch Lite versus Switch. So Switch 88,087, Switch Lite 21,528, PS5 regular 22,336, and PS5 Digital Edition is fading fast. They're not getting any of those. 554 units. Here's the top 10. Super Mario 3D World, Momotaro, Momotaro baby, finally dethroned. Little Nightmares on the Switch 24,000. Ring Fit Adventure, another 24,000. Animal Crossing New Horizons, another 16,000. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with another 16,000. Little Nightmares 2 on the PS4 with an 11,000. Minecraft on the Switch with 10,000. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Switch with 10,000 plus. Pokemon Sword and Shield with 8,324. We'll get the 30 game chart like later today or early tomorrow morning. So yeah, good sales all across the board for Nintendo. Obviously everything else is kind of struggling just a little bit, but not too bad for Sony. Once they get some more stock, maybe they'll be better. But it's not horrible. It's not horrible at all. Obviously, most of the stock allocation comes to the U.S. So yeah, U.S. and Europe. All right, take it easy, Farouk. Thanks for coming out to the stream. How do I pre-order Skyward Sword? Go on the... I don't know if the pre-orders are up. It depends on where you live. Some places are up, some places aren't. So, I think you can also go on Nintendo.com and just look up Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And I think they can show some pre-orders there, too. On the official Nintendo page. You think they should add something to Skyward Sword to make it more appealing to people who have already finished it on the Wii, like art book or something like that? Well, we don't know what else they're going to do with the game. And they already added... They had the Joy-Cons, so... There's that, but yeah, I mean maybe, but I don't know if an art book or anything else really makes it more appealing to people that have already beat the game. Like art book doesn't change the game at all. So yeah, I mean I think for me personally, button controls just make it more appealing. I don't know if people. I think HD, so it's not looking like the way that it looks on your TV. That's more appealing right there to me, but for other people maybe it's not. But I mean, if nothing is really. Nothing really changed. Like Super Mario 3D World, they added Bowser's Fury. Donkey Kong, they added the Funky Kong. There wasn't much there, so it always varies. But to me, the button controls are extremely... I mean, I finished it on the Wii, and button controls make it vastly more appealing to me than motion controls. Mac Mega with the $5 says, can you play Zelda song in the link, please? Also, whoever complains about 3D collection being too much doesn't know Sunshine costs $50 USD right now, not counting buying the GameCube and the controller itself. Yeah, but they don't care about the secondhand prices of the old games. They don't care about that, to be honest. That's just not a factor. They said, oh, it doesn't matter. It's still old, so it doesn't matter, the value of secondhand market, The 60 frames per second thing, skip it. I thought it was 60, but there's been some conflicting things on that. It looked 60 during the trailer, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you're quoting the 60 based off of what I said, let's hold on that right now. But it looked like the frame rate was running faster, but some people are saying that it's not. So let's wait on that completely. But I mean, even if it's not, I'll take the you know, the what's it called, the non-button control or the non-motion controls only. Like the fact that you can have, you know, multiple control schemes is good. Not a bad thing at all, you know? So yeah. There'll be restocks, Bell Morte, 1979. There'll be restocks for those controllers, man. So just sit tight there, man. Sit tight. I thought Nintendo's own page said it was running at 60. Okay, can we get a confirmation on that? Because I didn't see that on their own. Which page are you talking about? Which page are you talking about? Let's see here. So Skyward Sword. Yeah, I don't see it, but we have other information on the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. You can pre-order it on their page, $60, 300 gold coins, one player action, adventure action, Nintendo publisher, all the supported languages, 7.5 gigabytes in file size, coming out July 16, 2021. Supports TV mode, tabletop mode, handheld mode. Master your sword and angle slashes, uncover the breakthrough opponent's defenses using intuitive motion controls. Link will match every angle you strike. You make with the Joy-Con controller, creating immersive swordplay that relies on strategy and accuracy. Movements feel smoother and more immediate thanks to the Nintendo Switch system's increased processing power and HD graphics. So I'll actually try out the motion controls. I'll try them out, but it's gonna be hard for me to like try out the motion controls. I don't know, but I'll try them out. Because if it's gonna be smoother and more responsive, then okay. Take advantage of the newly added button-only control scheme, perfect for playing in handheld mode or with the Nintendo Switch Lite system. Okay, hold up. So yeah. We're playing Persona 5 Strikers soon. Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. So yeah, I'll have a video on it this weekend or something, or I'll play it this weekend. It looked 60 like when they showed on the handheld. It did. I agree, it did. It did. But I don't see where Nintendo's page says it. Twilight Princess HD for the Wii U was full price but came with that amiibo. Skyward Sword HD should have at least come with Zelda-themed Joy-Cons, straps, or something extra. Yeah, I can see that, for sure. I can see that. It would have been nice if they would have added something extra in there. Like an amiibo or something like that. I agree. But I'm still going to get it, so. But yeah, I agree, John. I agree. Shoutouts. Welcome to the stream, though, dude. How you doing today? Let's see. What game announced yesterday are you straight up not copying? There's probably a lot of games announced yesterday I'm not going to get, dude. But, I mean, Nintendo sends me games, so I don't know what they'll send me and what they will and what they won't. Splatoon 3 for me is super hype because I was never into it when I was Splatfest were going on. I just recently was Splatoon 2. Nice. On this article, Video Games Chronicle claims that 6 frames per second was from the platform holder. Okay, thank you, Chupacabra. I appreciate that. So when I do my video on Skyward Sword, let's talk about this. Skyward Sword is coming to Switch at 6 frames per second graphics with new controls. So that's what I thought. That's why I was like, oh, it looks like it's 60. Like when we watched the trailer, it looked 60. Like Nintendo actually put the trailer at, I mean, they put the trailer, a lot of the trailer, but like they put it at 1080p 60. I'm thinking that's, and like it looks 60. Like when you, like let me show you guys, because my frame rate is running at 60 for this stream. So like when you watch this trailer, the movement definitely looks 60. But some people were saying that there was no change to frame rate. So like, so this is, look, I'll show you guys. So it says 1080p 60, right? So look at the fluidity of the game, like when you see it. Like at least right here, like that movement right there, this looks like it's running at 60 compared to what I remember. Like all this seems like it's rendering at 60. Like the movements and how smooth they are.
Yeah.
That seems like it seems 60 to me. You know? Based off of just what my eyes can tell me. I could be wrong though. But this looks 60 to me. Like, compared to like Breath of the Wild movement, you know? You know, whereas like, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go to like, so here's Breath of the Wild.
That has endured.
Do you guys see the difference? You guys see what I'm talking about with the difference of smooth, like the way that like the frame, like how it looks like when it's like playing, what you see. This is Breath of the Wild trailer. See how the animation doesn't look as smooth? See? This looks 30 to me, you know? From the very beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks 30.
The look on your face tells me that you have no recollection.
It's a pretty, it's like, see, look at that. It would be a little bit more smoother animating if it was 60, but it looks clearly 30.
Years ago.
They're rendering it with 6, but look, see what they did? It just does 1080p. There's no 60 frames per second option at all. What you can do, you can just go at any type of, you can just play it at 1080p. It's 1080p 30.
Everything I've done up until now, it was all for nothing.
So like that's the difference to me. So I think it was Blandrew on Twitter. He said that there's no changes to the frame rate. So obviously he's not the source on all this. But thank you, Chuba, for the article. So that's gonna be part of my video that I do. So let's see here. They say, so yeah, this is from VG Chronicle. They say Skyward Sword is coming to Switch with 60 frames per second graphics and new controls. Smoother, intuitive controls in addition to improved 60 frames per second frame rate and graphics according to the platform holder. According to the platform holder. Okay. So I wish that they, did somebody just tell them that? Or did they just, according to the platform holder? Okay. I just wish Nintendo actually wrote it out somewhere, but it looks 60 basically. I don't know. It looks 60, so essentially. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or if you compare it like Skyward Sword, you know? So I guess we can look at like Skyward Sword, for example, right? Like Skyward Sword launch trailer. Let's just say launch trailer. I spelled launch incorrectly. So let's look at this. So it's 720p. So like, I mean, like, yeah, that's pretty clear, right? Like that's yo, is that 10 frames per second? No, I'm joking. This is pretty obvious, right? I think this is obvious here just by looking at that. So it's like right away you can tell. You know? Bro, I ain't playing this crusty version no more, bro. I mean, Skyward Sword cool, but I mean, bro, I think I'm gonna pay the 60 to get. I ain't trying to play this. I mean, maybe it's not worth 60, bro, but I mean, y'all can roll with this one. I'm good with the Switch version, bro. Like, I'll take the better motion controls. I'll take the portable play pro controller. I'll take the 60 or the smoother animation. Let's just talk about smoother in general. I'll take it. I'm good. Y'all can just I'll stick with the overpriced version. I'm sorry, man. Like this, because like I said, I don't like Skyward Sword on the Wii. Like I don't like the game. Me and my brother got into a huge argument over Skyward Sword. Like one of the biggest arguments that we've ever gotten over when it comes to video games was on Skyward Sword. Because my brother loves Skyward Sword. That's like his favorite Zelda game. It's like Skyward Sword, and it's like, I think like his favorites are like Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, and like Link to the Past. and like Ocarina of Time. Like those are like his favorite. And we got into a big old huge argument over Skyward Sword. He loves the game. The motion controls, he loves it, you know? And I just simply don't like Skyward Sword's controls. You know, I don't like them on like the, you know, on the Wii. So to me, it's worth the price. So I could actually enjoy the game now, you know? But that's just me. Everyone's different. You know? Everybody has their things and stuff, you know? That they like and dislike. Haven't played Persona 5 yet. Haven't played Persona 5 yet, and since it hasn't come to Switch, it would be bad for me to play Persona 5 Strikers. You can, but I mean, I would play Persona 5 first, but it's all good. You can play it either way. Maybe not locked at 60, but it absolutely looks smoother on Switch. Yeah, maybe not locked, but I mean, from the trailer, I couldn't tell if it's locked. And my brother just texted me because he's watching. He says, "You're right, LOL." I mean, we argued back and forth so much on this game and like, you know, what I like and dislike about it. Cause like I played through it, but it's just like the controls just weren't it for me, you know? So to me, it's worth paying the price, you know, to play it again with an enjoyable control scheme to me and better processing, like for better controls. Cause like the problem to me was like, while it accurately gauged where you're slashing, it was like you slash and then like a half second later, Link slashes. It was not one-to-one. And that's how all Wii Motion Plus games were. It's like, okay, like the only one that was like one-to-one was like Wii Sports Resort. That was like the closest thing to one-to-one was Wii Sports Resort. Like that was the best that was on Wii. With Wii Motion Plus, that was the closest. Everything else was like slash half a second later or like a quarter second later. It was not as accurate. If they can make it like from what they showed in the trailer or what they showed in the video, if they can make it to where it's like one-to-one or it's so close to where you can't, it's like rollback motion controls, you know? Guilty Gear Strive rollback. By the way, have you guys seen that netcode in Guilty Gear? Goodness gracious. If it's like Guilty Gear Strive rollback with the motion controls, then I'm down. I'm down to try it again, you know, with motion. But it, you know, which it seems like it's a lot better because they pointed that out. To me, that's worth the price of admission for me because I just didn't enjoy it on the Wii, you know, like everybody else or like some people did. EB Games Australia is having removed the Zelda Joy-Cons. The site must have sold out here as well. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm not gonna play about port speed overpriced because it's pointless, doesn't do anything to prevent them from happening. Maybe. I mean, if enough people complain, maybe things will change. But I don't think things will change because here's the thing. A lot of people think it's worth the price. That's the reason why complaining won't change something. Complaining only changes something when you can get a majority or a very large people to disagree with it. A lot of people feel that the value is there, you know? So if a lot of people feel that the value is there, nothing's gonna change, right? So like $70 PS5 games, a lot of people feel the value is there. So it's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? So there's one thing, like complaining is one thing, you can get things to change, but the only thing, like, for example, like when everyone complained about Super Mario Maker 2 not having play with your, like where you can't play with your friends. It's like nobody thought that was a good idea to not have that, right? So everybody complained. Therefore, Nintendo, I thought Nintendo was going to add it in there, but it forced them to kind of say, hey, we're gonna add it in there. Like it's there, you know? So that's different because everyone said, well, there's no objectively talking about this. Not having the option to play with friends is not something that's good, you know? So you have to have the majority of people to support something in order for it to change. But the problem with full price ports is that the majority of people don't think that. You know why? Because they have their own individual brain and they think about games the way that I think about it. Not about some type of standard status quo for what's new, what's not. They think this is what I want and I buy what I want. Donkey Kong $60. I don't care if it was $60 on the failed system of the Wii U. What does that have to do with me? Nothing. And that's how a lot of people think. A lot of casual gamers, or a lot of gamers like my bro, for example, who he's Shiru here in the chat. He does not sitting here going on Twitter and arguing with all these bums. He's not sitting here. He doesn't care. All he cares about is what he likes. And he's a core gamer, but he's not online looking at all this stuff. Oh, this person's arguing about, no, I'm going to go over here and be mad. He just, whatever he likes, he buys. When he doesn't like, he doesn't buy. He doesn't care. It's his own opinion. He's not gauging what does everyone else think? He doesn't have a community like that. I gotta do that, but that's fine by me. I signed up for that. That's fine. That's what I signed up for. But the majority of people are like my brother when it comes to Nintendo fans, or just fans in general. They don't give a damn about what all these other people are thinking. All they care about is what they want. They're just cared about that. That's all they care. They don't go online and start saying all this stuff and start getting all crazy about it. It's like, if they don't like it, they don't like it. They'll talk to who they know. But that's about that, you know. That's where it starts. It starts and it stops right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts and it stops right there. It doesn't go on to the next level, you know? So that's the reason why people will, this whole full price port thing will never go away, because the majority of people that are buying it or whatever think that they're gonna buy it because that's what, they didn't play the game, or they really think that it's worth it. They think the game is good enough to pay for it, you know? They don't say, oh, well, it's an old game, so therefore it's not worth it. No, that's subjective to most people. People online will push this narrative, oh, well, since it's new, it's worth more than an old game. No, that's not what everybody thinks. No, that's not the truth with everybody. You guys see what I'm saying? People think games are worth it based on what they like, not whether based on if it's new or not new. And people don't like when I say that, right? People get mad, but it's the truth. There are people who value old games that they've played more than new games. There are lots of people who do that. Because if you don't care about something, then it shows no value to you. You guys see what I'm saying? You guys see what I'm saying? There are games that are new to me that I do not value that game, so it is not worth 60 to me. But there's games that I've played before in the past that I didn't like for this or that reason, but they're bringing it over with enhancements, adjustments, whatever the case is, and it makes the game better, so therefore it is worth the price that they're charging, or whatever the case is, you know? So that's the thing that people don't understand. A lot of people online like to sit there and like that's their defense or their argument, and that's a fine argument for themselves, but that's not how everybody thinks. And if that's how everybody thought, like how people think online, then Mario 3D All-Stars would have never sold, then Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze would have never sold, then Wind Waker HD on the Wii U would have never sold, then Twilight Princess would have never sold. All these games would have never sold if everyone thinks that thought process. So yeah. I think it's more along the lines of people thinking it's new to me, so it might as well be new. And that's what I just said. It's about what they think. It's new to them, so it's worth this price. It's a new game to me, so it's worth this price to me. If the game is good and if it offers what I want to play, then I'll pay the price that I want to pay to play it. That's what a lot of people think, you know? It's not, oh, well, it's an old game, so therefore it's automatically $20. It should be $20. That's what some people think online. That's the narrative that some people put. Well, it's old. Even if I didn't play it, it doesn't matter. It's old, so therefore it only should be $20. That's what I think. That's a fine thought process to have. If that's your creed or that's your objective or that's what you think, that's your belief, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's also nothing wrong with people that think, well, this game's really good and I like it and I never played it, or maybe I did play it, but there's enough in here that I really think that this game is good, so I'm gonna pay what I pay for it because that's the value to me. It's subjective. You can subjectively think about something when it comes to the price of a game, and it can be objectively argued on both sides. There's no right or wrong. And I think the people that push the whole narrative of it's old, so therefore it needs to be this price or it's overpriced and all that, they like to push it like it's a factual thing that you need to be outraged or you need to be upset or you need to say this because it hurts us all overall. They have some type of world, you know, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer world changing view type of thing, or like your decisions change the outcome of the world and what I'm gonna enjoy. They have this really weird thought process on it, and it's like, no, I'll buy what I want. If it's worth it to me, I'll do that. But the people who think otherwise, they get very salty about it because they feel that you're affecting their game or some like their prices or what companies can do and not do. And it's like, no, I'll just buy what I want. You can FOH for the most part. That's what most people are saying at home. You know? That's what most people are saying at home. I don't care what you think. You know? Yo, Jennifer, thank you. ELV, thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate that. Hey, thank you, Horse. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Just look at Mario Kart 8. 34 million people didn't care about it being on the Wii U. I bet you anything, all the people that bought on the Wii U bought it on the Switch again. It's crazy how people complaining about game being $60, but not the one talking about games started to 70. Like what? Some have, some haven't. You know. And I think I need to do a better job of not generalizing too, which I've tried to be careful with my words as well here. But like, I think it's gonna be interesting to talk about like on the Spawncast, so we can get people that obviously aren't all Nintendo fans, obviously think about it in different ways. I think different opinions are good, but at the end of the day, it's what you want, and it is, at the end of the day, it is hypocritical, because there are people that if you give them a game that they like a lot, they will pay full price for it. So for example, let's just say an HD version of Chrono Cross comes out. Yeah, I mean, are people gonna pay $60 for an HD version of Chrono Cross? You're bleeping Skippy. I'm paying $60 for an HD. If they HD'd Chrono Cross for 60, yeah. Now, other people, no, they wouldn't. But would I pay $60 for the HD version of Chrono Cross? Yes. I would pay $60 for an HD. Would I pay 70 for it? Yeah, probably. If Square Enix said, you know what, it's expensive, we're gonna charge 70 for it, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I like it that much. Now, other people, no. But me, yeah, I'll pay 60, 70 for Chrono Cross, you know? So it varies. You see what I'm saying, guys? Square Enix probably wouldn't do that though, because they re-release old games all the time. But I haven't even played Skyward Sword ever, so this is exciting. I got the Joy-Con. See, if you haven't played Skyward Sword, this is extremely exciting, because not only do you get actual good motion controls now, like you're gonna get accurate, better motion controls. You get 60 frames per second, you get HD, you get portable play as well, and you get button controls. This is God tier for 90-something% of Skyward Sword. While it was emulated to heck and back, so many people played the game, it doesn't show up in the sales results, and also we have the Wii U, but the majority of people that have a Switch probably haven't played Skyward Sword. The majority of people, you know? So it makes sense. But like I said, I understand it. Like, I get you could objectively argue on the other side. So it's always good to be objective, or at least try to be. I'm trying to be. You can argue on the side, like, wait a minute, it's too expensive. It's a Wii game. You can say, like, I saw what John said on Twitter, you know, and I agreed to it. You know, he said, oh, well, if you compare it to, like, let's say Super Mario Galaxy, and what they did there, where they made it to where you can play with button controls. The game was already in 60, so they just put it to 1080. It's 1080p, right? So 1080p 60. So I guess that's less work, because really all they had to do with Galaxy was make button controls and up the resolution. The frame rate was already there, whereas this one they doubled the frame rate with this one. They implemented, the controls completely non-motion controls. And I mean, it seems like this one's maybe probably a bit more work with Skyward Sword. The game's just bigger too. Skyward Sword, it's just a bigger scale game than Galaxy is at the end of the day, in terms of what it does with motion controls and everything, Wii Motion Plus, the way that it works and operates, right? So you can argue that yeah, like, wait a minute, that Wii game was $20, right? So objectively, you can argue, well, yeah, that's overpriced, So I agree there, although I did see people say that Super Mario 3D also was overpriced, when every game was $20 a pop. So there was also that, but you can objectively argue on the other side as well. So there's no right or wrong answer, like I was saying. So heck yeah, that's why I'm chilling right now. Oh, I get to play a good version of it. Yeah. So who didn't play who didn't play Skyward Sword here? Who hasn't played Skyward Sword? Jay Sean says people complained about 3D All-Stars like no tomorrow, but still bought it. Yeah. I use motion controls for Splatoon, right? No, I don't. I use button controls for Splatoon. Although I might try motion controls, though. Skyward Sword is worth it to me because I never played it. I didn't. I haven't. Me. Haven't. Not me. Still own Skyward Sword. Haven't. I haven't. Haven't played it. Not me. Dark Synchron, I think you were... I don't think you were born when that game came out. Was that 2011? Didn't you just turn... Didn't you just turn... Yeah, didn't you just turn like 15 or something like that, Dark Synchron? So yeah, you weren't even born. So it makes sense. Unreal Christian didn't get a chance to get into it because because it was Wii U era. Skyward Sword. It started on the Wii and then it bled into the Wii U era. I mean, the Wii U came out the year after. Got to try it for at least a day or two. Never played it. It's been 10. I haven't. Oh man, I'm just messing with Dark Synchron. Obviously, I know how long Skyward Sword came out ago. Like I know it was a fall 20 or holiday 2011 game. Disappointed there's no new Fire Emblem yet. Don't be disappointed, man. Fire Emblem 3 Houses just came out not too long ago. They'll announce it when it's ready. All right. And play Project Triangle Strategy. That will definitely scratch your Fire Emblem itch for sure. Never played Skyward Sword, says Ice Sonic. It's kind of hard to compare a platformer and an action adventure game. Say which one's better. Depends on what you like more, platformers or action adventure games. It's weird to compare the two. Seahawks 24 rule. Mario Galaxy is a better platformer than Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword's a better action game than Mario, I guess, right? I just find it weird when people compare like that type of stuff, like platformers to your inherent bias already confirms what you think is better, like what you like more. You know, if you like platformers or certain genres more, nobody is even keel on every single genre. People like to sit there and say that, oh yeah, I think of everything's the same. I got platformers and better. No, you don't. Everybody has what they like more than not in certain genres. I don't believe that when people say that everything's the same. So I always find it weird when people try to compare different. It's like Call of Duty versus like Tekken. So one of them's a shooter, the other one's a fighting game. Like, that doesn't make sense. Okay. In 2017, so when I was 7, it came out, but my mom wouldn't buy me a Wii because I was too young. The Wii is perfect for 7-year-olds. When you gonna cut that beard? When you ganda cut that beard? There's 2 options I have for cutting the beard. One, when you learn how to spell, that's the first option. So when you learn how to spell, that's the first option. The second option is when your mom gets here. So those are the 2 options that I have. She told me she'd be here this weekend. So maybe this weekend I'll cut it. But the other option is when you learn how to spell. Okay? And you learn proper, correct punctuation and spelling and all that. So those are the 2 options that I have here. But she blew me off last week in terms of like coming over to my house. Like she said she was gonna be here last week. She didn't show up. So we'll see about this week. So we'll see. So when she gets here, she'll cut it. She got nice trimmers for me and everything, bro. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate it. You've added nothing of value to this conversation. Let's see here. So let's keep it going. Says knew it was coming. It had to. The mom emotes in the chat. She ganda shave it. I don't know. The last time that I had her over here, she did seem pretty stupid. She told me that she homeschooled you, so kind of know where you got your spelling from. So it's from her. She's not very smart either. Makes sense. Like mother, like daughter. At least she calls you a daughter behind your back. You're probably a guy, but she calls you her daughter. When in March you think Pyra and Mithra will be released? Any speculation? Mid-March. My mom likes your beard, so please don't cut it. Oh my gosh. This is why you gotta go so hard on the kid, so he stops worrying about another man's looks over the internet. Like a lot of kids, they want to sit there and worry about, usually because they can't grow a beard, so they want to tell, oh, cut the beard or do something like that. I'm not worried about what little boys over the internet. First of all, that's weird. I know Jared from Subway, but I'm not worried about what little boys over the internet think about how I look and all that. All I'm worried about how I look is to my wife. Okay? And she doesn't want me to cut the beard. She says I trimmed it up a little bit. It was actually bigger and more bushier, and I trimmed it up. You know what I'm saying? So, and she even got upset at that a little bit. So I only care about what my wife thinks about my beard and my looks. What you guys say, what people try to come in here and say to me in the chat, doesn't affect me at all. Like, I don't care. You know why? Because I've got a wife that she's the only one that it matters how I look like. That's it. You guys, I mean, I appreciate the compliments and whatever the case is, but whenever somebody comes in here and says something, it's like, I'm gonna make a mom joke and I'm just gonna move on. So, like, there's no point in talking about somebody else's looks, another man's looks over the internet. That doesn't make sense. Unless you know them, you want to joke around a little bit, but if you don't know the person or it's a streamer, what are you commenting on how they look for? I never do that. I've seen the sloppiest suckers that let it stream. Like, legit, and I'm just like, okay, you're looking pretty sloppy today. Like, it's not...
Oh, you're looking like this today. Let me say something about your hair or your beard.
Who cares? Like, who cares about how they look? Are you gonna date them? What are you gonna do? You gonna go out on a date with them? What are you gonna do? Like, it's weird. You know? So you didn't get the joke? That joke is trash. That was a horrible joke. Uganda, you know, you got the dot. Horrible. Stupid joke. Not funny. Corny. Corn. Bad joke. Not good. Work on your stand-up game. So yeah. The only way said the only way he's gonna is as long as yo Ronald. Oh man. Let's see here. The Icarus with the $10 says, I'm confused. Did they really have to alter Pyra Mithra design? They don't look that suggestive. Could there be appearance really change the Smash all age rating, or is just Nintendo wanting to do it? It could have, but it's probably just Nintendo wanting to do it, just because they did that with Bayonetta too. Like when Bayonetta does her like wicked weave attacks, it covers up her skin. She's not like actually naked. So yeah, I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. Who cares? They just put him like leggings on him or something, right? But although Mithra's outfit is from Xenoblade Chronicles, it's from Torn of the Golden Country. So Torn of the Golden Country, she has an outfit that's like that, and then you can unlock that in the regular Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So they took that outfit and put that standard. Mithra. Pyra, they definitely like censored, like put like the leggings on her, but it doesn't matter. She's not real, so it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't change the context of the story or the gameplay or what they do, so it's irrelevant. I don't watch WandaVision, so no. Says Project Triangle looks good, but the key characters need to have built-up personalities like Edelgard, Claude, etc. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Well, I think based off of what I've played so far, it seems very similar, and it looks like you're gonna have some strong personalities, and the voice acting is really good. So I think it's gonna be good. You know, I think it's gonna be pretty good. It's already ready suggested themes, so yeah, I get that, but maybe they just didn't want all that skin to be shown on them, which is, like I said, they did the same thing with Bayonetta, you know? They made sure as much of her skin doesn't show too, so they did the same thing. But it doesn't matter. That doesn't change anything in the way how she plays or anything, so I don't really care. It's like when people complain about like no more butt shots in Mass Effect. It's like, Who cares? You guys, these women aren't real. They're not real. Okay? Like, they're not real. Go find a real girlfriend. Stop worrying about what a fake woman looks like in a game. Go get a real girl. Go get a real one. Don't worry about the fake ones. Go get a real one. You know? Fidel begs to differ. He has a body pillow of Mithra. Okay? So, can we take what he has to say? Like legit, he has a body pillow of Mithra. He rolls the body pillow. He's the type of guy, like, nothing wrong with that, but he has a body pillow of Mithra. So, just think about that for a second. Any improvements you'd like to see with triangle strategy based on what you played in the demo? Maybe some of the, maybe some, like, nothing yet, but I gotta play the demo some more. Is it life size? It's a full length body pillow, so I don't know. I mean, it's a long, like, you know, like the long pillows, right? And it's not like, I don't think it's full size because Mithra is really tall, but it's just like a full length long body pillow of Mithra. Play some Apex Legends. You still trying to play, OJ? Apex Legends? It's not out till you Switch, or when? I might check it out on Switch, but it looked kind of corny. The Switch version didn't look that great, but we'll see. I don't even have a body pillow of Peach. LOL, I don't go that far. Nobody really should have. Anybody over the age of 15 to 16 probably shouldn't have a body pillow of any type of character, in my opinion. But if you do, that's fine. Have at it. Have fun with the body pillow. You know, I that's fine by me. You can be into whatever you're into. You know? So Cloud 7G definitely, Cloud 7TG definitely got a Tifa body pillow or an Aerith body pillow. That's for sure. That's for sure. Tifa, yes sir. I knew you. I know. Of course you did. Of course you did. Of course you do. I knew it. Yeah, I don't think I need a body pillow of the characters. I don't think I need that. Only people that should get a body pillow are girls? No, that doesn't make sense. Anybody that wants to get one can get one. Mr. Stud Muffin with the doll says, what about a twin tail body pillow? Don't need a twin tail body pillow. I got a real life twin tail. No need. No need. You know, when I saw my wife, no need. No need whatsoever. Got an actual real life, living, breathing human woman. That's what I like. So, well, I need a body pillow. Shinru with $3 and says it's exactly what it sounds like, a body pillow. Playing Persona or playing PS4 Apex Legends. I know you don't like shooters, OJ, but do you think Apex Legends on Switch might open the possibility that we could see Titanfall 2 on Switch? No. Well, that gameplay really deserves a second chance. Switch is a chance, please, EA. No, because Titanfall didn't do that great on the PS4 and Xbox One. So, since it didn't do that great on PS4 and Xbox One, why are they going to take the time, energy, money, and all that to port it over to Switch? Apex Legends is new and they can monetize the fan base. Titanfall, it's like $5 in the other systems, so I don't see them taking the time to port that over to the Switch. They haven't even released like updates like PS5 and Xbox Series X updates for Titanfall, so I don't see them doing it. Pyra or Mithra is better as a character. Mithra is stronger than Pyra, but I mean, personally, like the design, they're both fine. Hey, thanks, Loot Boxing Senpai. Appreciate the support. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I was just up late last night, working up late. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna go ahead and call it right here. Your boy, I gotta get something to eat. I'm starving right now. Okay, guys, we've been streaming for about 3 hours, so I'm gonna call it right here, and then I'm gonna get started on that Splatoon video or like a news video, one of the two. I'm not exactly sure which one. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. Thank you guys for coming out to the stream, though. We will play some games tomorrow as I catch up on sleep. Okay, so we will play some games tomorrow. So look out for that. So look out for that. Make sure you watch my most recent video on the Nintendo Direct. My full thoughts and like what I what I thought about it, and also make sure you vote on the poll too. Yo, Deza, thank you for the $3 and says love from Puerto Rico. Yo, shout outs to my fellow brothers and sisters over there in Puerto Rico. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for being awesome. Shout outs. Thank you for the $3, man. Appreciate it. So check out the video if you haven't done so. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a little. I was up till 3 a.m. creating content for you guys between the Splatoon reaction, or between the reaction, Pirate Mithra, the big video, because that video that I did was 18 minutes on that direct show grade. That I know it was just trailers scrapped together, but I actually had to edit that. I had to download all that crap that night, man. That video took me a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take. I didn't finish till about 1 a.m. that video, and I started like at like 9. So it took me about a good 3 hours plus to get everything done for that video. It didn't seem like it, but sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a little tired today. And then I had to do like I had to get that triangle strategy video or footage recorded because I couldn't get it because I need to sleep tonight. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about not streaming longer, guys, or not having a video game today. But we'll be back on track tomorrow. We'll be back on track tomorrow, man. We'll be back on track because I'll actually get sleep because I barely got any sleep today. So yeah, so we'll be back on track tomorrow. Back on track. Let's go. So check out that and check out the video that I just posted. Make sure you link that. Make sure you link it. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and we will see you guys for the next one. All right. I can't get some rest right now. I gotta make that. I'm gonna make that Splatoon video. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna put some food in the rice cooker, and then I'm going to make that Splatoon video for you guys. I'm gonna get that video done tonight. I'm gonna get it done tonight, and then you guys will have that Splatoon 3 video in the morning. So, all right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Splatoon 2 gameplay, action, JoJo Fridays. Let's get it done, boys. All right, guys. Peace.